Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and MBs and whatever else you want to be, it's your choice. I'm just here. I'm just a black guy. I'm just a melon. I have today Internet Pit Stop, the legend himself. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Internet Pit Stop.
Hey, I'm your favorite shitty internet roommate. I make internet content. I talk about stuff in front of a green screen, and I'm funny sometimes.
This man, this myth, this hero, this croissant on a Tuesday afternoon in the middle of the sun, loves Dragon Ball Z. It's one of his favorite things. He grew up with it. He actively loves Akira Toriyama, God rest his delicious soul. And he knows the intricacies, ins and outs of the confines of Dragon Ball Z. Isn't that right, my brother?
It is true. Also, I like the way you describe me. I like being described as a croissant on a Tuesday. That's really nice of you. I love Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball. I've known Dragon Ball so long. I don't even remember when I first saw it. As far back as I remember seeing Kid Goku and thinking like, damn, why do I keep seeing this kid's dick? It's kind of weird. But he's cool. He'd be fucking shit up, you know? He'd be beating up shit, and he's cool. No, yeah, I love Dragon Ball. That was the first one. I think as early as I can remember, Dragon Ball was like what I saw in some like old ass VHS tapes my brother just had. But I don't remember the first time I saw that shit. I just always loved it.
And today we are going to be discussing the intricacies of Dragon Ball Z. A lot of people think Dragon Ball Z is this meathead battle shonen that doesn't have any plot relevance or any connecting points. It's just fighting for the sake of fighting. And while that is true, there's also a deep narrative core to the entirety of Dragon Ball Z, and we were going to discuss that today. So are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm always ready to talk about Dragon Ball.
Today we are discussing Dragon Ball Z is deep. So let's ask you, when you think about Dragon Ball Z being an intricate story with plot and threat narratives, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
I feel like the first thing I probably think of when it comes to that would be either some of like maybe the earlier parts of Dragon Ball, but I don't know. Actually, you know what? I'd probably think of mostly the Saiyan saga towards the Frieza saga. That's probably the most like deep, well written, like even the arcs like seamlessly connect, like the Saiyan saga goes directly into the Frieza saga. That's probably the most where I would say that what you're saying coincides that, in my opinion.
The first thing that always comes to my mind is the journey of Gohan, is what I think about.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Because I think about the first instance that Gohan popped up, and when they said, oh, he just wants to be a scholar. And Goku was on board with that, and everybody was like, oh, he doesn't want to fight because the world was at peace. Piccolo was at a Denny's for some reason. He was chilling in the middle of a forest.
Yeah.
And nobody really cared. That's what I think of when I think about, like, I think of like that, the character journey of that. That's what I think about a lot. So let's talk about how Akira Toriyama cannot write. Akira Toriyama, for the most part, kind of improvised the entire story of Dragon Ball Z, just all of it.
That is always a crazy, like, even Goku being a Saiyan is completely improvised. But to his credit, I think he did a really great job improvising that, because it fits. And almost like it doesn't throw anything off. Like, you watch all of Dragon Ball, and like, you just think like, oh, maybe it is a little weird that he just turns to a monkey. Like, why does that happen? And then like, for it to like halfway through the series be like, oh, he was actually an alien the whole time, and then it all makes like, it actually worked pretty well. He's not towards the end, it gets kind of like, he gets kind of silly with it, and it gets kind of hard to, you kind of like start noticing, okay, this guy is kind of improvising. But for a while, like it was pretty good, like making it seem like it was like that the whole time, honestly.
It feels strange because obviously with Dragon Ball Z, it started off where it was goofy, it was silly, it was strange. And then later in Dragon Ball Z, as soon as Z started, actually, no, not even Z, when Demon King Piccolo popped up, around that frame of reference, you're like, oh, this is a little bit more serious because it's focusing more on like, death, actually. Dragon Ball, like that.
That arc starts with Krillin dying. And then that's when you know, like, oh, shit just got real,
And that's what I like about like Akira Toriyama, because he has what I feel as though is the blueprint for all modern shonen. Like Naruto, it was goofy earlier
100%.
on, Land of Waves arc, and then there's like Bleach, there's some goofy aspects there. One Piece kind of does it the best, I think, because
for sure.
One Piece is just like, yeah, we're goofy as hell. He's made of basically a condom. However,
Yeah, I feel like because Dragon Ball kind of embodies a lot of aspects. It started as like mostly a goofy kind of adventure series with some martial arts, and then it gets like heavy into the martial arts, and then it has points where it gets really serious and deep, and then there's like one point where like you can tell like he was watching a lot of Terminator and he made the Future Trunks whole thing, and then like. But I feel like One Piece, like, especially took that adventure part and then just like embodied that so well. It's cool. No, it's cool to see just how much, just DNA Dragon Ball has placed all throughout shonen, all other shonen. It's probably the most influential. Is it the most? It is probably the most influential
in terms of like
manga
popular
ever.
ones. In terms of popular ones, because if you think about even the color schemes, Naruto's color scheme is Goku's color scheme. Luffy,
that's the same thing. Yeah.
Monkey D. Luffy, like that's a monkey. Is Sun Wukong is like the Journey to the West, like the whole thing there is
100%.
Of course,
100%.
I guess you could attribute it to the Monkey King, but I think we all know it's Goku.
Yeah, we all know. Like I remember that first time I saw Naruto, and that was the only thing I thought. I was like, oh, he's wearing an orange and blue jumpsuit. I wonder if that was inspired by Goku, like because it definitely was. And it's like it's crazy how influential that series is.
So let's start obviously with Dragon Ball. Well, you started with Dragon Ball, right? You started off with Dragon Ball.
Yeah, my earliest memories it's not my first memories of Dragon Ball. My earliest are like Dragon Ball, the original. I had like I had some VHS tapes that my brothers passed down to me, the classic, hand-me-downs incorporated. He gave me those. I had like 5 of them, and I think it was pretty much just from like the first episode until the end of like the Pilaf saga. So I saw Boss Carrot, whatever. What's the name? Is that it?
The boss that went to the moon and started making mochi. I don't know.
Yeah. I saw that whole thing. I saw the whole little Yamcha arc. All that stuff. I would like rewatch on repeat, and it had like it had the. Are you familiar with? Okay, so like the original Dragon Ball opening, the like what's it? The Matafugi adventure.
I know the original. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know the other one? There is another English Dragon Ball opening that's like way more cheesy and way more like corporate, I should say.
No,
but that was
like
the
4Kids level of corporate, or like
kinda sorta. So that it goes like it was like Dragon Ball, gotta get that Dragon Ball. It just said Dragon Ball. It's actually it's kind of a bop. Is it bad? I know we're doing an interview. Can I send it to you?
Yeah, you can send it to me. Yeah, 100%.
Like, I'll tell you this. I love the original more, the Matafugi adventure, especially the English. I think it's great. But this one is my childhood. Like this was the one that was on those VHS tapes. Let me gotta get that Dragon Ball opening. It's kind of a bop. It's like a very corporate bop, but it's a bop nonetheless.
I feel you on that one because when I think of Dragon Ball openings, everybody's like, "Oh, you mean like Head Chala?" I'm like, "No, that's garbage." I'm talking about Rock the Dragon is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Rock.
Okay. Now you're talking crazy. Head Chala is an iconic magnum opus of a song, and it shits on Rock the Dragon. I don't even like Rock the Dragon.
You don't like Rock the Dragon? Do you like?
It's good. It's cool. No. I'm a fucking dork. So like when I think opening, I don't just think song. I also think visuals. And if you look, none of those visuals are all those visuals. Damn, the Tree of Might movie that aren't in the damn show. So you watch that damn opening, you're like, damn, when is this gonna happen? And it never does. That shit pissed me off.
I think that's why a lot of like people like me like growing up liked it so much because it was like.
Oh no, it's a song. It's a bop. It's made by the same people who made the Power Rangers theme. Like that shit's gonna go crazy. 100%.
Oh, I know this song.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I've heard this.
Yeah, that's the one I grew up with. I love the little intro too, like the long ago there were 7 Dragon Balls. I love when like I start like especially back in those like 4Kids, like those days, they always had those like little intros explaining the plot of the series. Oh my god, like when Yu-Gi-Oh starts and it's just like long ago in the distant past. Like I'm like, oh bro, yes. You hear that voice of Dan Green that's just shaking your rectum. You're hype. Got your cereal. You're hype. Oh yeah. But Dragon Ball is how I started. Yeah,
that's fair. I surprisingly saw the very first episode of Dragon Ball Z that I ever saw was second form Frieza versus Piccolo.
Oh wow,
First I ever saw.
It's an interesting place to start.
Yeah,
but
I didn't know what I was watching.
It's a cool moment. It's like when it's one of those. It's the classic like, oh, Piccolo shows up, looks really cool, and then gets folded in like an episode.
I was like, who is this black guy? I was looking at Piccolo, who? Because I attribute every bald-headed man that's serious to being black, Mr. Clean and Clean. I was like, who is this? Who is this black man fighting against this obviously Satan? I was like, this is obviously Satan. I had no idea what I was witnessing. And so my friend who was watching was like, oh, this is Dragon Ball Z. And I'm like, cool. Can you put on Cubics? I didn't know what it was. And that entire weekend after watching that, he was like, nah, man, we gotta play like sagas. And we played Dragon Ball Sagas. Which,
oh god,
I loved it. Oh my, I love Saga.
Okay. Respect.
I was like, this is great. It's 2 players. I was just happy to play with a friend. And then I went home and I begged my dad to take me to a library so I could read Dragon Ball the manga. And I went to my local library and they had all the volume, all of it. And I just started reading it. Like
that's a great way to experience. Yeah, well, reading the manga is great. A lot of you just did something that like 9 out of 10 Dragon Ball fans didn't do. Read the manga. You know? Yeah,
as a Dragon Ball and a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, I don't read that much, but
yeah.
And that's really the main crux here of starting with Dragon Ball, because it started off very goofy. It was goofy. Like with Dragon Ball, it was the goofiest thing. There was a guy who had the ability of being musty. Like he just
oh my god!
You remember that guy? He put his hand in his pants.
And the way they beat him is because Krillin remembers he doesn't have a nose, and that's fucking hilarious. Like, bro, that's the thing. I don't think Toriyama doesn't get enough appreciation for like he's really funny. He be doing some funny shit.
Oh yeah, his gag manga, the ability of gags that he's like, huh? Krillin's gonna lose because it. Wait a second, Krillin doesn't have a nose.
Genius.
Concerned about any of this.
Visionary.
Magnum opens peak, true peak. But
100%.
And a lot of people that started off with a lot of people that watch Dragon Ball Z have never seen Dragon Ball. Someone didn't know. I had a friend. He said, "Wait a second, where did Tien come from?" I was like, "Oh, he was a villain. He worked with the Crane School. I believe it was the Crane School. He learned the Donan Ray, which is the equivalent of Kamehameha." And he said, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, because the Crane School is assassin techniques, and the Turtle Way is basically just martial arts." He said, "How do you know this? Did you speak to the author?" I said, "Speak to no." He's like, "Oh, it's in the manga, huh? It's in the manga." I'm like, "No, it's fully animated." And he said, "What?" It's called Dragon Ball. He said, "Yeah, Dragon Ball Z." I said, "No, it's called Dragon Ball." He said, "What?" He watched Dragon Ball. He almost couldn't make it past the first few episodes, actually, which is kind of weird.
No, that's a thing. Like I also had a friend too who was he loved Dragon Ball Z. Like I'm talking like he would get like you know people get like anime baddies on their car. He gets like Goku on his car. He gets like like he loved Dragon Ball Z. And I remember I brought up for him to check out Dragon Ball because he never seen it. And he watches Dragon Ball. He's like, couldn't do it, man. It was kind of boring. And it's like, yeah, like I think there is a crop of people who, because they saw Dragon Ball Z and they like Dragon Ball Z for being, because think about Dragon Ball Z is a lot more serious. It has its goofy moments, the driving episode as an example, but it's very serious and it's very cool. Like, like cool.
Yeah,
spiky hair, badass, and they try watching Dragon Ball. And it's kind of hard for them to adjust. Yeah.
I think that's the issue because, well, we'll get to it later, but I think that's the issue for a lot of people. And when people get to King Piccolo, Piccolo set the tone for all of what Z was going to be. King Piccolo was this big, imposing, the demon King Piccolo, the opposite to Kami, who was God, the other half, all the evil of the world, the vitriolic, the ability to destroy everything. Immediately, Krillin died. His sons, his demon spawn, destroyed Tambourine, all named after him.
He was fucking shit up, bro. He killed the fucking dragon. He killed Master Roshi. Like,
people don't understand the importance of even the naming of them as musical instruments. That it set the tone. That's tambourine, piccolo. Those are all musical instruments. He is changing the literal tone of the series with musical instruments.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's that. No, yeah, like I think again, going back to it, like Toriyama, he'd be on his deep shit sometimes. Like he'd be out of nowhere too. Like you think like this guy, like I've always had like, sorry if I keep jumping around.
No,
and
you're
stuff,
good.
but,
Jump around as much as you want to.
yeah, I've always had this feeling that Toriyama, and I get this from like a lot of like Japanese, especially mangaka. I always get the feeling that they're very good at like being modest, but really they're like they think a lot deeper than like they give themselves credit for. Something similar happened with the director. Why am I blanking his name right now? Director of not Ghost in the Shell. Of like Angel's Egg. Mamoru Oshii. Yeah, I know that he is Ghost in the Shell. Yeah. Whenever like someone asked him a question about Angel's Egg or something, which is a super deep film, he always answered super modestly, like, "Oh, I don't know what it means. I'm just being goofy, silly guy, ha ha ha." But like, you look at other interview questions, he's like, "Yes, this was written around the time I was losing my faith in humanity and my faith in religion, and I like, bro, like I'm telling you, like I think there's a lot of modesty in Toriyama. I think he's a lot deeper than people give him credit for. I think, especially like I even think like how there's that whole thing about I could be wrong about this, but how he said I the only reason I made Super Saiyan Blonde was because I didn't want to
ink it. You didn't want to ink it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't want to ink it.
But then you look at like other things he did around that time, and he's still inking a lot. So it's like, is that really the full reason? I don't know. I think he might be being modest at times, but maybe
a lot of manga are like that, where they'll make this deep introspective thing where it's to the point where it's almost a book you're reading, where somebody will be like the I have no enemies, or even and that is the way or like I need to reevaluate my standing here. It's like a guy had reached the peak of the zenith of everything. Even with One Punch Man, despite it being a gag mama, when you reach the peak at the end of the story, he's now having to find friends. There's so many mangakas that do this, and Dragon Ball Z does it so well with certain things, because we'll get to this later, but in like some character arcs, like Vegeta's character arc,
or even
Goku's, he's just like, he accepts it. One of Vegeta's best moments is his sacrifice, despite the Buu arc being, to me, subpar. His best moment, his character growth is like, all right, I'm gonna sacrifice myself. You Vegeta? Yep. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, that whole arc, again, and I agree, it's probably the most subpar arc of the Z Saga, but that arc, like, it's literally, it's Vegeta's arc is like through that whole saga. Like, that's most of that, he is the most prominent arc that happens in that saga.
It's beautiful. I love that. Even him using Potara rings was a whole debacle.
That's part of it too. That's part of it. Yeah.
But now let's get to the Saiyan saga. This is what I believe to be the main. This is what, like, because we start off with Raditz, right? The brother of Goku. Black on black violence. The brother of Goku, right? Just brothers fighting each other, going blow for blow, tough for tough, tit for tat, and then both of them dying. Both of them dying. Goku going to the other world because he's already reached the peak. Goku has already reached the peak of the world at this point. He's the strongest on Earth, so obviously he needs a better tutor. He goes to meet King Kai. He learns otherworldly techniques, comes back, and still struggles against somebody that is him. Vegeta is what Goku was in Dragon Ball. A short person that is underestimated. And insane battle IQ, because everybody's thinking Nappa's the strong one because he's first, he's getting out there, but Vegeta is the one that is the strongest. Usually you see a short guy is like tactical, he cares about that stuff, and he's not that strong. Vegeta's tactical, his battle IQ is amazing, he's merciless, and he's exactly as Kid Goku was. He's shorter, and you don't know what he's gonna do, and that's terrifying, because Goku is not that anymore. He's taller now.
Yeah.
That's not what he is.
And like,
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I love the fact that, like, we're in this new saga. We're in the Z part of the story now, and the first major thing that happens is our main character dies. Like, that's crazy. What a way to like up the stakes, Like, oh yeah, our main character fucking dies, and then it's like, oh, you became the strongest on the earth. Time to go outside of the earth and get strength. And then and it's just cool that, like, the whole framing of Goku and Vegeta, the idea of like Vegeta is like this elite warrior who, you know, he's the elites of the Saiyan. He's higher than Goku. Goku is nothing but a low class scum, a jobber of the Saiyan race, and he's trying to prove to him that even with enough hard work, even a low class can surpass. Like that whole dynamic is just so cool. Like it's like one of my favorite things about their whole relationship.
He's just, to me, I think he's the best foil. Because even
100%.
when he's saying it, right? He doesn't just say it, he shows it. Because Goku, for all intents and purposes, was disgustingly weaker than Vegeta. Holy shit, it wasn't even it was night and day, the difference between their strength. He had to tap into Kaioken times 4. Was it times 4 he's the Kamehameha?
Yeah, 4. He had to go higher than, like, he was literally told by King Kai, like, don't go higher than 3, dude. Don't do it. And he had to even, like, stand a chance at the end. And then he still would have lost. The thing that is great too, and I don't know if I'm going too far ahead, but what made it such a cool thing was, again, yeah, you're right, like Vegeta was stronger, and by the end he was gonna win because of the Great Ape form. But the reason Goku won and the reason Vegeta lost is because Goku had friends. Goku had people with him. And what did Vegeta do? He killed his only friend, quote unquote. He killed his only companion, you know? And that was the reason Goku won.
Because we talked about this before the interview, but those 3 choices: truth, love, or power. Vegeta chose power, Goku chose love.
That's it, yep.
And this is the beautiful thing about this. This is the most important aspect, and this is where people mess up Goku's character all the time. And I don't understand why they do this. Why did Goku let Vegeta live? Because Goku didn't win. That's why. It wasn't even
exactly.
That's it.
Yeah. I want to be fair to those people, because they, you know, it comes from a place of like they probably watched another dub that had the wrong translation. A lot of video games also follow that wrong translation. So like a lot of people grew up thinking Goku was on his Superman shit. Like, no, trust me, he will become a good person after. I know this. I can sense it. When in reality, he's like, I want to beat this dude's ass. I couldn't beat him. Like, come on.
Yeah, because like with Raditz, he didn't kill Raditz. He was just like, only way we taking him out is jumping him. I ain't gonna hold you. Jujutsu Kaisen type beat. That's what we're gonna have to do.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, he fought against Nappa, and he was like, take this big, bald-headed piece of shit and get off my planet. And Vegeta was like, you think I care about this guy? I will toss him up and kill him right now.
Yeah, he did. And he did.
That's just horrendous. I love it because Goku is disgustingly selfish. He's so selfish that it's pure. That's the beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. That's such a great way to put it. I never heard it put like that. He's so selfish that he is pure. He is able to ride the Nimbus because he's that selfish that it's at a pure level. Like it doesn't come from a bad place.
No, it doesn't. It's just him being like, all right, so scrap. But he's the dominator of the universe. He has the ability. Listen, your accolades are amazing. I just heard you're strong. It's something in my body that wants to improve myself, and if I can beat you,
100%.
Who's the strongest, that means I can get better, and if I lose, that means I still got things to improve on. So scrap. It's pure. It's not. He doesn't even care about saving Earth for the most part. He really doesn't. He's just.
Go on.
He's just looking for a next hand to throw. But as you were saying.
Oh, I was gonna say, there's a lot of underlying things going on during the saga too. It's, you know, like the big thing is Goku's always been like that. He's always been like, I want to fight the next strongest guy. It's part of Master Roshi's teachings too. Like, you know, to always expect that there's someone stronger than you, want to keep improving. But it's also because during that line when he's saying like, keep Vegeta alive, want to fight him again, something he says afterwards is, I can't really explain it, but it's just a feeling that I have that I have to fight him again. And he says it might be a Saiyan blood, because that's another underlying thing that's going on.
It might be because I'm a Saiyan.
Exactly. It's an underlying little thread that's happening in this arc, is Goku figuring out like what being a Saiyan is. Because right now, all he knows about Saiyans is Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta. And all they've shown him is Raditz, he's evil, and he can't trust him. He tried trusting him by letting go of his tail. He fucked up, and then he just saw another Saiyan, Vegeta, kill his own fucking friend. You know, like he is only seeing bad things about Saiyans. So it's like you almost can understand why he's not maybe ready right now to be like, oh yeah, embrace his Saiyanness. but you know, he's starting to understand it. He's like, damn, maybe that is why I've always been like this. Like I've always wanted a challenge and things like that. And I mean,
see, afterwards he was like, he was talking to him. He said, Nappa fought all of you? Yeah, he beat us all up. Man, that's kind of cool. What? Nothing. He beat all your ass. Even UTNT was like, he took my arm off. Oh shit! All right, well, that's kind of slick. It's like,
yeah.
It's like if Vegeta didn't jump in, it wasn't like, no, we jumped him. We couldn't beat him. Y'all didn't do ones? What? Nothing. Y'all just thought y'all would at least have the honor of a 1-on-1.
Yeah.
I love that like deeply. And when we get to like Frieza, and we get to like the dominator of the universe, the strongest and things like that, especially with the Frieza saga, we get the last of what I feel is the wacky powers. Because with the Ginyu Force, after that, there's no wacky power. Because earlier we had like Devil Man with the Devil Might Beam. If you have evil in your heart, you die immediately.
Yeah.
That would take out Frieza in one shot. It's like with like you have stuff like that. But then we get to the Ginyu Force, we have like they're goofy. This is a callback to just pure Dragon Ball. The Ginyu Force,
100%.
Goldo, if he holds his breath, he stops time, but he's fat, right?
Yeah.
So like, he can't hold his breath that long. That's a great way to nerf somebody. That's great balancing. That's great.
Yeah.
Captain Ginyu, he hurts himself, switches bodies. That's goofy. Recoome.
You got. Oh, what does Recoome do?
Recoome is goofy as fuck because he's
just goofy in general.
He's like a wrestler. Recoome kick. This is Recoome.
True.
All of his moves are named after himself. Recoome Eraser Gun. Like all of it is just named after him. Even Burter and Jace. Those two,
because they're an ensemble. Like they're like a team up crew, you know?
Yeah, they're just two goofy dudes. I'm the fastest in the universe. And then for some reason Drake's Australian. I don't know why. And they do like the team attacks, like the tornado move. They do the team moves.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's that whole thing was always funny too, because Bird is like, I'm the fastest in the universe. It's like, isn't Frieza like faster than you though?
You know? Realistically, wouldn't Captain Ginyu by definition of his strength be faster? I guess
in terms of well, maybe. I don't know. In terms of like, usually Dragon Ball logic dictates like the person who has a higher power level than you is just like better than everything than you, strength, speed, all that. But maybe not. Maybe Birders is just faster but not as stronger. Maybe that's the case.
That's true. We did get to Trunks at one point, and Trunks, when he got bulky, Cell was like, listen here, you stupid idiot, of course Vegeta can do the same strength as you. He just decided that's dumb. What? Yeah, you're too slow. Whoops.
Yeah, he sunned the fuck out of him during that moment. He really did, bro. It got real disrespectful when he did it too. He's like, watch, I'll do it. And then he does it. And then he's like, see, I can do it too.
Anyways, let me beat your ass right quick. He didn't actually, I think he just powered down and was like, yeah, that's what I thought. Go ahead.
he showed him like, bro, you're dumb.
But I enjoy the Ginyu Force being like that callback. And they're going to come up later, but this is beautiful. I love that little callback. And then I think we can get into Frieza. The entire Frieza is, to me, the end of Goku's final arc, like his true, like, okay, this is where I'm going to be at the end of my character, and this is his like character journey. Because Frieza is as well Goku. If you're a good shonen, right? A good shonen villain will be the protagonist. We have like with Naruto, Zabuza is Naruto if he doesn't care about those around him. Obito is literally Naruto if he lost everything. And with even Bleach to some extent, Grimmjow is a perfect way of like if he lets the Hollow take over him, he sees the worst parts of the Hollows. We can see that with the Quincy arc and the 1,000-Year Blood War. We can see that in all things like that. Even One Piece, we can see that. Well, they're not really Luffy. Luffy is just ignorant. I think Luffy is a little bit of an exception. He's just ignorant. He just I don't know if I can really say the villains are like him. He's just like, I guess they both are pirates.
Yeah. But I get what you're saying. Like usually a good shonen villain is almost a reflection of the protagonist.
Yeah, and I think that's beautiful. Frieza is this times 1,000. Because if we go to, because Frieza is to me Dragon Ball Z. Because the first form of Frieza is Kid Goku, just flat out. Just that's Kid Goku. And everybody's looking at Frieza like this is the Emperor? He's like 2 feet tall. I can beat his ass. And like they're like, oh yeah. and he's flamboyant. They're underestimating him. See, that's why I love Frieza being flamboyant so much. Because when you're strong enough, who the fuck gonna tell you what you can wear?
Yeah. It's like the whole. It's almost the same thing with like Prince. Like
he's rich.
It's not even that he's rich. It's like he gets so many bitches that like he can't like, bro. Like, who cares if he's wearing heels? Like, not that I have a problem with that. I fuck with the heels, but I'm saying people who would be upset about that, like, they can't be upset, bro.
I don't know.
He will take their bitch in those heels. You know what I'm saying?
It's beautiful. It's like his Riz is insane, and Frieza has Riz. What kills me the most.
I did not think I was gonna hear Frieza has Riz today. That's crazy.
I keep thinking about. I don't know why this popped in my head. This is like completely sidetracked. I keep thinking about Hobo Johnson when you said bitches. I was thinking about Hobo Johnson because he rapped like his whole thing was talk singing about being bitchless. I don't know. That was the whole thing. That just came to my mind. But I love Frieza so much, so deeply, because and then we get to Kid Goku in second form. Frieza is Satan.
Mm-hmm.
And if we think about Satan, we think about demons. And Demon King Piccolo is second form of Frieza. Because what's the first thing about Frieza's power that Frieza states when he hits second form? What's the first thing?
Doesn't he say it's over like 1 million?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is at a plateau that doesn't make sense. And this right here.
That's like when power levels stopped giving a shit. Like at that point, like they didn't matter anymore.
Yes. Because Demon King Piccolo, it didn't matter. Demon King Piccolo was the most evil.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, power levels, cool. That's cool. You got a high power level, but it doesn't matter because Demon King Piccolo is the most evil. This is the peak of evil in Dragon Ball. They're not going to get better than this. This is it. And when we reach Demon King Piccolo Frieza, which is second form, you're like, okay, 1 million. At that point, you're beginning to understand. Because you'll see Dragon Ball powers going to be like, well, his power level is 20 septillion. That's cool. Anyways, this nigga's at 1 million. I can't even count to 1 million. That's crazy. It's still that's a high number. Because Roshi at 300 was destroying the moon.
Yeah. I mean, Vegeta at the start of the Saiyan Saga, I mean, it's filler, but he blows up a planet with like a finger. Like, he blows up a whole planet. Like, they've been planet busting way in Dragon. Yeah, it says Dragon. Well, moon busting isn't planet busting. But I mean, if Master Roshi's blowing up a moon at 300, I'm pretty sure Demon King Piccolo could easily blow up a planet.
Yeah, like, and casually, Piccolo was just like, oh, the moon's the issue, eh? Let me just get rid of that real fast.
Yeah.
Like, he got rid of it. It's just the whole thing. And then we get to third form. And this is where we start seeing why Frieza is literally what the entire Saiyan Saga was. Because Frieza is the culmination of what Dragon Ball has been to this point. First form, Kid Goku. Second form, Demon King Piccolo. Third form, what came on the first episode of Dragon Ball Z? Aliens. And what is third form Frieza? Literally a xenomorph.
Yeah, literally, yep.
It's a xenomorph. Like, it's an alien creature that comes down and destroys. Like, that is third form Frieza. And we don't give him that much of third form Frieza.
Not at all.
It was there and gone. Because
he comes, he claps Piccolo, and he leaves.
Yeah, the third form Frieza was a showcase of, we are showing you through visual storytelling that Frieza is Dragon Ball Z. He is the peak. Like, he is the dominator of the universe. There's no one in the universe as strong as Frieza. Then we get to the final form. This is where Goku is right now. Final form Frieza. In Dragon Ball Z, we get to where Frieza is. Control purity. There's nothing special about Frieza's design in final form. Not a single thing. Not one thing. It's just
very plain.
It's just a vibrator. Like, it's just, that's it's very plain, easy to draw, white, easy to shade in.
Yep.
It has his own guards. It's nothing extra. Goku's design, iconic, nothing extra. And that is the beauty between these two characters, because they're the same thing. They're the exact same thing. How do you feel about Frieza's forms up until now? What was your thought process?
Up until the final form, I was like, I always had a really cool liking for all of them. I mean, it's kind of hard to not think that the final form's the coolest one, just because, like, it is the most iconic. It's, you look at it and it's like one of those. It's like Goku. Like, the design is like almost instantly iconic. Like, you know, you didn't need to wait 10 years. It's like when you hear an album, you just don't need to wait 10 years for it to be a classic. You know, it's a classic, and that's how those designs came off. Like, Toriyama had a real good knack at that, like drawing really iconic character designs. Like he was just really good at that, and I think that it's partly because of their simplicity. There's a lot. I almost think it's easier for something to be iconic when it is simple. You know?
Yeah, that's the best. That's why you see like a lot of like McDonald's or Burger Kings, they're simplifying their restaurants and logos, because the simpler you make something, the more average person is gonna recognize it. Like if the average person can recognize it, you've won. If your design is too intricate, you're gonna be like, "Are you so bad guy?" No, I'm from BlazBlue. You mean Blaze Blue? Yeah, sorry. It's just I don't know if you pronounce the Z or the E. It's like a whole thing. It's like an entire thing. And so, and then we get to what I feel is the worst form of Frieza, the golden form.
Oh yeah, well then we get to Super.
Yeah, we'll get to Super later, but like I didn't have to bring it up now, because Golden Frieza to me is where Dragon Ball, it doesn't have an identity anymore. I think it just is losing the core aspect of what it is. But
it almost starts like parodying itself.
It does
in a sense.
Goku's stupid for some reason. It's strange.
Yeah, it's like, I always say like things that were like kind of like jokes. Like, you know, it's always been a joke to be Dragon Ball new forms, but then you get to that point, it's like, oh yeah, that just kind of is what it is now. Like Frieza does just get a new form because he just trained her a little bit, and like, you know, there's no gravity to it, there's no depth to it, there's no like, you know, because like the big thing with the first 5 forms was that they weren't even technically forms, that his final form is his real form, and those were forms he used to literally power himself down, you know?
Yeah. And this is what I love the most about, I'm gonna get to Golden Form Frieza again right quick, because this is the most important thing to me. When he said he trained for like a few months, at that exact moment, I understood something about Dragon Ball Z and the current state and day and age. It does not care about power-ups. I fully understood that, because Master Roshi fighting Jiren and stuff like that. I was like, I understand that it stopped caring. It just wants.
Oh, 100%, it did. Yeah.
It just wants to be a visual feast. That's it.
That's where it definitely is there. It took me a sec also to like kind of like, I think for me it was when Krillin was fighting Goku in Blue, and I was like, oh, they don't care anymore.
Yeah,
they don't care about like the power scaling, and it's annoying too for like some for me as a fan, because I know a lot of fans are like this too. Like we don't ask for much. We just want like, I guess, consistency in power scaling. I feel like that's not too much to ask.
It is.
So like, it gets kind of annoying when you're like, oh shit, Krillin's just like somehow keeping up with like Goku Blue, you know?
It is annoying to ask for, because the mangaka, what he's thinking about, he isn't, because the power scaling is such a minority of the bigger
100%.
They just want to see who's the next strongest. It doesn't matter to them. So, and this is a credit to his writing at the very least. The saga of Gohan, right? When we talk about the saga of Gohan, he tried his best to, instead of doing cumulative like number power scaling, he tried to do comparison power scaling, which is like, okay, so Trunks comes in, he beats Frieza. Cool. Trunks is disgustingly stronger than Frieza. He beat King Cold, disgustingly stronger than King Cold. And King Cold in second form was as strong as Frieza in final form. That was stated in the anime and stated in the manga. That's good. Goku comes in and is one fingering against Trunks, and it
the attack that killed Frieza.
Yes. So we can see,
which is crazy.
We can see, bada bing, bada boom, Goku is disgustingly stronger. And then we see later the androids that, you know, gave Goku a hard time and because of his heart virus, boom, Vegeta beat comparative. But then Vegeta, who is disgustingly stronger than those androids who are stronger than Frieza, is now getting beat by Android 18. And then you're like, okay, and it just keeps going up and up and up. And that's to me, that is better than numbers. I think
100%.
I think that is what Akira Toriyama wanted to do, because he got sick of the numbers game.
100%. Yeah. Well, yeah, because I mean, once you hit 1 million, like who fucking cares? Like, you know, like, oh, my power level is at that, like, by the point of super would be we get like, yeah, my power level is quintuply and sextuply and like bro, like I okay.
They did pull a Yu Yu Hakusho with super. Because Yu Yu Hakusho, they did this thing where they introduced a whole new form of energy that was appear.
Yeah.
Like, well,
like the last arc, yeah.
Yeah, we have divine ki. What the fuck does that mean? Wait, it's divine.
Yeah.
What does that mean? It's divine. I'd have punch you in the stomach, Darius. What is that? It's just so when we get to, and I want to get to the saga of Gohan. I think Gohan's arc is so important to the destruction of generational trauma. I think that is very important because what happened when what are the androids? What are they? What do you what would you say the androids are?
They came from Goku's mistake of not, you know, finishing off the Dark Riddle army, and they exist because, well, they say that we never saw that happen, but you know, it was in the text. Goku didn't finish off Dr. Gero. Dr. Gero was able to escape, and thus they exist because of Goku.
Yeah, because Goku has been around beating ass. His entire character arc is just like, so I hear you have hands. Like, and then his son, he's trying to make a world of peace. Goku this is the best part about Goku's character. He didn't even want to be the savior of the world. He didn't even try it. It wasn't even his goal. His entire thing was...
He stumbled into it, really.
Yeah, it was like a role imposed upon him. He didn't want that.
Yeah.
The shoe fits, so we put him on because, you know, he had no clothes on.
Who else was going to do it?
I think the androids are just the killing of Goku's past. They are the final piece. Because there's nothing else. We already beat his history. They beat the person that destroyed his entire race. We figured out his origin. Goku's character arc, besides this one thing, is pretty much done. That's it. This is it. And these androids popped up upon a culmination of everything that Goku is. And then we get what I think, to me, this is my favorite villain, Cell.
Oh yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, like I feel like, I don't know if Frieza would probably win a poll, right? If you put a poll in front of me and it's like you had every Dragon Ball fan vote, obviously Frieza would probably win just because I don't know. I feel like it's weird to say it, but Cell is like the Dragon Ball fans' people's champ. You know, like I feel like yeah, sure, Frieza's iconic, but everyone fucks with Cell. You know,
that's because Cell, and this is just like narratively, they don't even realize why they fuck with Cell. It's because he is the culmination of Goku. He is everything that Goku has defeated, all in one, plus Goku. Because when Cell reached final form, what was the first thing he said? He said, I'm nice as hell. I have an idea. I'm gonna host a tournament. What? Something in me is just telling me to whoop y'all ass on national television. I don't know what it is. It's the showboatiness of Vegeta, the pride and arrogance of Vegeta, but the pureness of Goku. Because this is gonna sound crazy. Cell is somehow pure.
Well, yeah, because the big thing, he wanted to fight Goku. That was the thing. He hadn't fought Goku yet, and that's who he wanted to fight. He was like, I know the Abridged series really like takes this like way further, and I love that they did that. Like where like Cell almost has like a sexual attraction to Goku because he's just so that's his thing. Like he loves fighting, and so does Cell. And I love that about Cell too. Like that's such an interesting thing about him. Like what other villain is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna host a fucking tournament just because I want to like fight y'all. Like I just like fighting that much. It just goes to show you his cells that come from Goku.
It's beautiful to me because First Form Cell. A lot of people don't understand the narrative importance of First Form Cell. First Form Cell is a weirdo. He's a nothing burger of a weirdo. He's just creepy and weird.
He's drinking people.
Yes, that is narratively important because we are understanding that this is what everything is. Everything that combines Goku is weird as hell. He's a weird ass character. He doesn't even want to be the savior of the universe or savior of the world. He doesn't care about that. He cares about growing himself and getting stronger. And Cell, through other people, gets stronger and grows to become Second Form Cell. At second form Cell gets in there. Well, all he wants to do is reach his peak. He needs to reach his peak so he can fight. And then when he reaches final form Cell, when he gets to light skin Cell, is what I call him, the final form. He hosts a tournament, and then he suns Trunks, shows him that he understands he has insane battle IQ, and then he summons Cyberman during the tournament for no reason. It's like a whole thing. Like it's this whole thing.
I don't think, at least for the anime, I don't think it's a coincidence that when Cell is telling Trunks why that form wasn't working, we also around the same time see Goku telling Gohan why this form won't work. It's like, just to go back to that whole battle IQ, like it comes from Goku.
They are the same beast. It's like it's that same thing we're talking about, a villain's reflection of yourself. Literally, Cell is Goku.
Yeah, by his DNA.
Literally, it's beautiful. And this is the part. This is where we get to what I feel as though where everybody gets so mad. We're like, oh, why did he give him the Senzu bean? Because Gohan has to earn the victory.
Yeah, like, Goku. Yeah.
He has to earn that victory. He has to earn it.
Yeah. And it speaks to Goku not realizing things about, like, it's a fault of Goku's character. And I think Goku, a big part of that Cell Saga arc is Goku kind of realizing that fault, which is to kind of go ahead, for him to realize, like, oh damn, Gohan isn't like me. And then him realize, and then that's why he decides, like, yeah, I'm gonna, not only that, he lets himself be blown up with Cell, but that by the end he decides, hey guys, yeah, I'm gonna chill. I'm not coming back to Earth. I feel like you said, like, he is the reason these things keep happening.
he's not him. He's like, I'm sorry, you're not him. What? You're not him. I'm so sorry. And then this is the beautiful part. At this moment, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, this is people's champ. People love this Gohan.
Oh yeah, this is everyone's favorite Gohan. This is peak Gohan.
And then Gohan gets all his power, and he becomes a Saiyan. At this
100%. He gets cocky.
He gets cocky.
Yep. He fucks up too. It fucks him up too. It's the reason he should have pulled the Trunks and killed him. Got it done.
Yeah, and then Goku looks around. He's like, damn, I really fucked up, guys. Well, Gohan, you can go ahead and be a scholar. You can, do whatever you want to. You can be bitchless your whole life. I don't care. I am gonna get rid of Cell, and I'm gonna go to King Kai's planet. And that is such an important point in the story for me, because Goku does what he usually does, sacrifices himself. But this sacrifice is intrinsically different from a lot of his other sacrifices. This sacrifice is purely to teach a lesson. This sacrifice is, hey, don't do it again. I'm gonna die. Have a good day. What? Yep. Bye-bye. Like, that is, it's beautiful.
It's just, it's definitely too bad that Gohan didn't learn the lesson.
Oh no, he
does the same shit against Boo.
Well, let's get into the worst.
Oh, you want to get into that saga now?
We can talk about the worst saga.
Okay.
The magic of Dragon Ball Z, because we've talked about the power scaling and stuff like that, but Dragon Ball Z is a very fantastical series too, because the Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
So Majin Buu is the magic. Because let's start with let's start with Fat Buu.
Yeah.
He's Dragon Ball. That is 100%.
What he is. Going back to the goofiness, like he is he's a very goofy villain. Turns people to chocolate. Can be. He's pure. He's very pure, and that's why he can be kind of reasoned with really quickly by Hercule or Mr. Satan.
Yeah, Hercule, best character in the series, by the way. Hail Satan.
I mean, I know I said Vegeta got like the arc in the Buu saga, but Hercule, like his whole thing from like the Cell saga to the Buu saga, just being this ultimate gaslighter to the point where by the end his gaslighting saves the world is insane.
It's high key beautiful. I think it's one of the most beautiful things.
It's genuinely beautiful, yeah.
So this is the beautiful thing I love about Buu, just because he immediately beats a Dragon Ball Z villain. The first thing he does in the entire series is beat a Dragon Ball Z villain, showing that Akira Toriyama loves Dragon Ball more than he loves Dragon Ball Z. because Boo is just, you know, he's fat, he's got a cape on, he's goofy, he's very Dr. Slump in the way he's designed.
Yeah.
So and then immediately Deborah, who has a sick ass design, that motherfucker is the Demon King's like.
Yep.
Everybody
that is Dragon Ball Z. Deborah is Dragon Ball Z to the core.
He's a good combination of evil magic, spitting on people, turning them to stone. That's perfect. I love Deborah so much. And immediately he gets gipple-gomped and clowned on like a coward. He gets scloopied. Truly, it was horrible. He gets turned into a cookie. Like what? Oh god!
And then you find he's in heaven in the other world.
He's like, damn, I really got turned into a cookie. I got turned into a graham cracker. That's my bad.
You gotta rethink your whole life at that point.
If somebody turned me into a cookie, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel delicious for sure, but I don't know how that. So and then we can get into Super Boo, who is what Dragon Ball Z is supposed to. I think Super Boo is what Dragon Ball Z is supposed to be. He looks disgustingly serious. However, what he does is, I want candy. I need candy. He's evil. But this to me, this is gonna sound crazy and psychotic. I love Cell the most, and I think Frieza is the best narratively. That's what I think. I think Super Boo is the most Dragon Ball Z villain.
I would agree. I mean, yeah, because he has a little bit of everything. He's like super evil. He absorbs people and to make himself stronger, so you get a little bit of Cell action there. Yeah, he is very like at that point, like he's Dragon Ball Z to the core, like the most Dragon Ball Z ass Dragon Ball Z villain.
Yeah, and he's goofy too. He's still goofy. Like he's still goofy.
Yeah. Like the way he's like messing with Gotenks at some points. The fact that he gets out of. Because doesn't he, when they're like stuck in the time chamber, when Piccolo destroys it,
he starts spazzing. He's like, no candy, no chocolate,
no candy, no candy, and he literally screams a portal through the dimension. He rips a dimensional hole, screaming because he's not gonna be able to have candy anymore.
Very Squidward when he was blowing a bubble of him. Very.
Yeah.
Just yells really loud and creates something that is unfathomable. And they're just like, did he just rip dimensions by getting pissed? Yes, he did. I'm sorry. He's not.
That's where Dragon Ball Z is at that point.
Yeah, he's like, I can break infinity because I'm pissed. Like that is the beauty of it. So, and then we get to Kid Buu, who is nothing. I think Kid Buu is a good direction of where Super was headed.
Oh, like a showing of what's coming up.
Yeah, like because Kid Buu Kid Buu is a lot of people's favorite because he is what people think about when they think about Dragon Ball Z. Kid Buu is a disgusting parallel of the fans.
Wow.
They don't read. They love nonsense. They don't care about dialogue. It's like I'm so serious. Like name one Kid Buu line. Name one.
No, you can't. Yeah. Whenever people talk about Kid Buu being cool or great or anything, they're just telling you his feats. Like, oh, he came, blew up the earth. He went to the other world, blew up the other world. You know, like that's all you can, because that's all you can say about him. Because there's nothing else besides that. That's his thing. His feats. His strength.
He is the fans of Dragon Ball Z where they're like, well, Goku can beat he sure can. 100%. He can beat pretty much any shonen character of all time, but I think Sasuke may be a bit more narratively complex. Nah, nope, I don't care about that, but can he beat Goku? No.
Can he beat Goku though? Yeah, I don't care about your MLA format fucking dissertation why you think this character is better written.
Suck a dick with your citations.
Yeah, can he beat Goku?
Yeah, Chicago style, dummy. I don't give a fuck about none of this. And that's why I think Kid Buu is I think Akira Toriyama understood his fans deeply. I think when he made Kid Buu, because people will argue day and night saying, well, Kid Buu is the strongest form.
Oh my god.
So you're telling me a Buu who has nobody absorbed. I just want to get this right. Kid Buu, who has nobody absorbed, not even a piece of himself. Majin Buu's out of his body, by the way, too. Kid Buu, who has nobody absorbed, because Kid Buu, if you look at his flashback, he started absorbing people to get stronger. So Kid Buu, who has not a single person absorbed, is stronger. Yeah, he's more dangerous for sure, without a doubt. He's
the whole kid people who think Kid Buu is stronger than Super Buu absorbed Gohan or Buhan. It is. I've seen a lot of dumb Dragon Ball arguments. That is the most dumb Dragon Ball argument there is. And so there's like you said, Kid Buu is an example of Dragon Ball fans. There's a reason Kid Buu is dumb. There you go.
Because not Kid Buu fans. Dragon Ball Z fans don't read, and a lot of people will say, well, in the show they said he's the most dangerous and most powerful version. Okay, so if you want the actual Japanese, like the katakana, the kanji, he is the most chaotic, the most dangerous, and the most evil. Those are the only three words. They specifically use Akuma for one of one of the that's one of what they use. That means demonic. He is unhinged. Cause you can reason, you can talk to Buhan, like you can have a conversation with that 100%. Guy.
I mean, Piccolo got Super Buu to walk that whole ass path to the time chamber just to waste time, you know? And because he wanted to fight. He wanted a strong fight. Kid Buu don't care about that. He just wants to blow shit up.
Yeah, I don't care about a strong fight. I'll punch Hercule. I don't care. Because Kid Buu had no allegiances to Hercule. Super Buu at least was like, nah, I remember you. Kid Buu was like, let's scrap, dummy. Like, that's... And that is what I think. Kid Buu is pure head fuck. He is the entirety of the Dragon Ball fandom. I think he's the majority bulk of it. And with that...
and he's killed by the Spirit Bomb, which is nothing but like positive energy.
Now then, now that we've discussed the intricacies and beauty of the Buu arc, a lot of people say it's the worst, which I agree. I still think like it's a good arc. I just don't think it holds up anywhere near to the narrative importance or relevance of any of the other Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z arcs. I just don't think it does.
Yeah. Well, I mean, eventually you gotta lose steam. Eventually, you can't just. I mean, because looking at Dragon Ball Z, even looking at just Dragon Ball Z, it was like back to back, just like amazing, iconic like arcs. Like Saiyan Saga, amazing. Frieza, go right into that, amazing. Cell, like like at some point you gotta miss a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think it's good. It's not gonna compare though. After a while, you know.
Yeah, like,
it's kind of hard to match that anymore.
You ever seen Hunter x Hunter Greed Island? I don't know if if anybody, any Hunter x Hunter fans listening, Greed Island sucks. I don't care what you say.
Damn.
It's garbage. I watched it 12 times. It sucks. I hate every minute of it. I read it too. It sucks. Anyways.
What did you wait. Greed Island that's the card game one, right?
Yep. That sucks.
Oh, I love that arc. I love that arc. I think the arc is pretty fun. I actually had a lot of fun. I mean, that's the fun ass dodgeball game.
Yeah, that dodgeball game is pretty lit, but like I'm not gonna lie to anybody. The main villain sucked in that arc. I like the slice of life aspect to it, but you probably
fuck with the Chimera Ant arc though. I'm guessing,
best
right?
arc in Shonen ever. There's no.
And it's
better.
like again, it's like you mentioned, a villain who is a reflection of the main protagonist, and that's one right there. That Miriam is a exact reflection of Gon.
We love to see it.
Yeah.
Now then, here
it
goes.
Right. Where are we going?
Time travel.
Oh, okay. Let me say up front, I'm not the most well versed on this topic in terms of like how. Because here's the thing. Only thing I know about this topic is that I'm pretty sure it doesn't make sense.
You are correct.
Okay.
So
because it's like, oh, go on.
They should have not done it, but what do you think?
I was just gonna say, it feels like Toriyama couldn't decide which type of time travel he wanted to do, and it's just kind of both sometimes. Like at some points, it's like, oh, it's the type of time travel where there's different universes, so one doesn't affect the other. But then in some points, it's like, oh no, actually, it kind of does affect it, but not. It's very confusing.
Most people don't understand this. The Dragon Ball Z show that we are watching is the 4th timeline. Most people don't know that. I hate bringing that up.
Wait.
It's annoying. You're gonna get fucked up.
Okay, hold up. Okay, hold up. So future Trunks, we have that timeline, right? That's like his timeline.
Yeah,
Where Goku dies.
That is the original first
Yes,
timeline. That is the first timeline.
That's what was supposed to happen. Goku
Yes.
was supposed to die.
Yes.
Then Trunks tells him, and thus does that. Wait. So what's the second timeline then? What makes? Well, why isn't the second timeline the one where? No. The second timeline is another timeline where it's the one where Cell comes from.
Yeah,
the Cell that we
Cell
fight.
kills Trunks. Yes. that's the
Goku
second.
still dies there.
Yes.
But the difference is Cell kills Trunks and
Yeah.
goes to. I thought we were the third timeline then. No.
No. We're not in the third timeline. I thought
What's
we were
the third timeline?
The third. This is gonna sound really psychotic.
Okay.
There is a third timeline. In which that is the Zamasu one.
Are you saying blue hair Trunks is not the same Trunks?
No, it's the
from
same.
Dragon Ball
It is
Z?
the same Trunks, but there is a separate one because Zamasu made a split. Because in the third timeline, somehow Goku exists. And then his body gets taken by Zamasu.
Wait, he didn't take Goku's dead body. Didn't he go to a different timeline to take Goku's
Yes,
body?
that's the third timeline. So the timeline we're in right now is the fourth timeline. We're in the fourth timeline. That is where we're at.
Oh my god! Like I thought, and as part of the Zelda fandom, I thought that timeline was crazy. This is insane.
Nah, this is
See,
much more destructive than all the Ganons and Ganondorf. This is much more crazy.
Yeah. I didn't realize just how like crazier the super shit changed everything.
Because
I
thought we were in the third as well. I was like, okay, so that's Cell, boom, third. Okay, that makes sense. And then it's revealed, if I feel like I'm understanding this correctly, we are.
I'll take your word for it.
I feel like I'm correct. If I'm wrong, hey, that just goes to show that maybe you should make your story narratively correct with timeline travel. So this is what messes me up. Firstly, let's talk about Dragon Ball Super right quick. I think it's trash. Okay. I think the whole show.
I mostly agree. Yeah. I mean, I like the movies. I thought when they were doing the movies, I was like, this is awesome. This is a good time.
100%.
I like Beerus.
I was there day one. I premiered on a Thursday night at 12 p.m. I was there watching it first showing. I was one of the first people to see Beerus. I was there seeing Super Saiyan God. And you know what I thought when I saw Super Saiyan God?
What?
My only thought was, why is he not called Saiyan God? Because
my thought was
because he just has Goku's hair. So Super Saiyan has specifically Super Saiyan hair. So if you're a Super Saiyan God, you should have Super Saiyan hair. It would make much more sense narratively to call this is what a base Saiyan God looks like with Divine Ki, and then make Super Saiyan God blue hair.
Super Saiyan blue, that
would make sense
to
me.
When I saw it, I was just like, I get that some people like it because of the simplicity of it, but like, I don't know. It just kind of looked like Kaioken to me, and I'm like, when you hear Super Saiyan God, I feel like that. You know, maybe it's my fault for growing up during the drought era when I'm seeing Super Saiyan 1 million and all these spiky, crazy abominations. Like I'm expecting something kind of cool, and I mean, I love Super Saiyan 4. I still think Super Saiyan 4 is probably one of the. Well, I say Super Saiyan 1 is probably my favorite transformation, and then maybe like Ultra Instinct. I think that's cool as shit. But Super Saiyan 4 is probably like the most like core to the Saiyans. And honestly, Super Saiyan 4 would make more sense being Super Saiyan God aesthetically.
It would,
in my opinion,
because it's primal.
Because it goes back. It goes back to the Ozaru. Yeah, it goes back to the Saiyan blood.
It's the original. It's literally original. Yep. But Dragon Ball Z, the reason Dragon Ball Super is trash to me is because it is garbage that we are still eating. Right? That's the worst part. A lot of people are like, "Oh, the choreography is nice." I want you to watch any, and I mean any Dragon Ball Z fight. I don't care which one, and compare the choreography. I don't care which fight. You can watch Nappa, you can watch Raditz, you can watch watch Piccolo versus second form Frieza. I don't care what it is. The choreography is night and day. The only cool moment that I can even think of right now that even holds a piece in my mind is when Goku fucking popped a ollie on a fucking beam and launched a Kamehameha in Kefla's face. That's That was
yeah.
sick as
That was
shit.
like that. Yeah, you really like. That's the thing. Like, there are cool like choreographic moments in Super, but they were very like with Z. It felt a lot more consistent. You consistently got good choreography versus Super, where it was like you're almost amazed when it happens because you're like, oh my god, I haven't seen this in like 40 episodes. You know?
Because it's like, and we got that in Dragon Ball Z, but we also got the Goku versus Cell fight. We got Frieza versus Goku without Super Saiyan. I just need somebody to watch that choreography and and that's watch Super. I need somebody to witness that one more time. That shit was nuts. I recently watched the entire like fight, all of it. I didn't realize how much like, you know how like it's just like punch flurries and it's just like the same animation repeat loop. There's barely any of that in the Goku versus Frieza fight. Barely. Yeah. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
And there's a lot of great moments too, like the when he makes the two little Kamehameha balls under the water, shoots one up, then comes with a drop kick, and even that like Goku versus Cell thing. People still talk about that fight as like one of the most like one of the best like looking choreographed fights in the series.
And I think this is a pure reflection of the Dragon Ball fandom now. I think Dragon Ball Super is the best reflection of what the Dragon Ball fandom has come to. Because it's either you're a diehard power scaling lunatic who thinks Goku can destroy everything and is the greatest character ever narratively and no other show can ever get close to Dragon Ball, or you're in the minority where you're like, I can understand the faults and I still enjoy Dragon Ball Z. Like that's what you got.
Yeah. That's kind of what I came to. I remember being really hyped because I mean we haven't had Dragon Ball in what, like 10, 13 years. So I'm hyped. A new series, yeah, a new series. I'm hyped. I watched those movies. I remember a great experience was like I was in a theater watching not Battle of the Gods, Resurrection of Frieza, and there's like this moment where Goku is like whacking away an attack, and the crowd is screaming, that the theater is screaming. They're like, "Get that shit out of here!" Like everyone is hyped. It was a good time. And then when the show comes out, like you just see the immediate missteps. Like for one, unfortunately, it's Toei. And Toei in that time or even now, if it's not One Piece, they are not giving it budget, and sometimes not even One Piece is getting that. So it doesn't look good, and we all know what happened in episode 5. And they unfortunately made the giant misstep of repeating the movies, like doing arcs for the movies.
They needed fluff. They needed fluff. They really need fluff.
Yeah.
It goes into like the Beerus issue I have where he's like the moving goalpost constantly. He's potential man is what he is.
Yeah. At that time I was coping. My cope at the time was okay, don't worry. Once it gets to like the new stuff, Universe 6 arc, it's gonna be good. And then the Universe 6 arc happened. I was like, that was a little underwhelming. And then we had the then this is probably the ending towards like the peak of my cope towards the end where I'm watching the Goku Black arc and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy, this is insane, this is so awesome, this is so cool, I'm hype. And then by the end of it, when it's like, oh, I guess they nerfed Vegito, and then Trunks there's going to be 2 Trunkses now in a timeline or something, and they just pressed a button and Zeno ended it. And it's like once that happened, even though the Turn of Power was coming up, I was just like, I'll watch it. But I am, at that point, I'm like, this is not good, but I'll still watch it.
Everybody was so hyped during the Tournament of Power. I felt like the odd man out because I hated the Tournament of Power so much. I still feel like I can't even discuss Dragon Ball with a lot of my friends because they're like, Tournament of Power was so hype, and I was like, what? Was it? Because it was really just, there was no choreographed moments. There's nothing crazy in there. I don't remember most of the fight. Bunch of nonsense thing. Dragon Ball Super did something that I will never forgive. It established world building and immediately destroyed it in 1 second. Because they said, oh, there's insane amount of multiverses out there. Where okay, so we can have this. That's the potential for infinite series. Yep, you could go through every universe and discover the intricacies and discover the big bad, and that could be 100 arcs, right? That's 100 arcs. And they did the worst thing ever. They said, what if we got just the strongest of each universe all at once? What?
Yep.
You didn't
just put them all in. Yep.
One thing that's beautiful about One Piece is that it doesn't explain its magic. right? And that is the best thing you can do narratively, because it forces the community to try to understand the magic. I don't even know how Dofus work. I can explain the Dragon God and where the Dragon Balls came from easily, Namek, all that jazz. That's I don't have any mystery. There's no guessing. There's no guessing with Dragon Ball Z. With One Piece, it's like, okay, well, is an admiral as strong as a Gorosei, or is the what's going on here? Like, are they even strong? How strong is Luffy compared to the? We don't know, because Oda refuses to explain his magic. He's like, that man. Motherfucker, if you don't, I don't care. That guy. I'd have punched this guy, the man with a scar on his face. We are at the end of the series, man. Just please, I'm begging you. Nope. Die. And Dragon Ball Z is like, oh, this big bad, this Moro. This is final form. Here he goes. As a matter of fact, Granola's the strongest in the universe, period. Here goes Frieza again. Fuck you. Like, it doesn't care.
Yeah. A new Frieza color just dropped.
New Frieza. Frieza's racist? Let's fix that. Make him black. Do you know how long the Vegito versus Zamasu fight was?
Oh, I saw this somewhere. Like in real time?
No. Like, do you know how?
Or
just him fighting. Like, do you know how long it was? Like in real time. How long it was? Do you know how long that was?
How long?
It was 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Do you know how long the Vegito fight versus Super was without dialogue?
Shit, that fight lasted like 2 episodes, so it had to have been like
without
20 minutes, 30 minutes?
With just the fighting portion,
it
was 15 minutes.
Damn, 15 minutes of just, I mean, yeah, damn, fuck.
It was 15 minutes. And I was like, huh? Really? I was confused by this.
Yeah.
I was like, is that, I had to look it up. I was like, cause somebody scaled it. I was like, that's crazy. If you just want the taunting, just him taunting as Vegeta, that's why people like Vegito so much. Because he taunted him with the joy of Goku, but the ignorance and ego of Vegeta. That's the beauty of it. That was 11 minutes of taunting. And we're just getting spoon fed bull swaggling garbage. And since you mentioned it, Goku Black is worthless.
Yeah, like here's the thing. The only reason it's cool, it's just like if you're a Dragon, I feel like if you're some Dragon Ball fans, you just like cool shit. And I feel like, I don't know, it kind of woke up the little Dragon Ball AF fan in me. No, I was just like, evil Goku, cool.
I'm right with you. I was like, Z-Core. I was like, oh my god, I was right there with you. I was like, this is emotionally, I'm invested. I thought it was Goten or something. I was like, Frieza has.
Oh, I remember that theory. That was a theory. Yeah.
I love the Goten theory the most. I was like, this is hard. This is the best theory of all time. Shout out to the true Saiyan blood awoken in him. He got hit with a Babidi Ray in it forcibly. I was expecting like Trunks met Manji, because we didn't have Dragon Ball Z Kakarot yet, right? Because we didn't get that little thing where the original story where we figured out what happened when Babidi popped up. I was thinking Babidi got Goten somehow. This is my whole headcanon. Babidi got Goten, and then the Mark unleashed some Saiyan primal urge in him. And he just decided, I could just whoop everybody ass right quick. Because somebody was like, Goten wasn't born in this universe, and I was like, then Goku's not in this universe either. Goku's not in this timeline. Why does he look like Goku? Goten makes more sense than Goku coming back, and they're just like, well, because that's just probably otherworld Goku. I'm like, nah, bro. We're both disgustingly wrong. Both.
You know what's crazy? Because during this time when people were trying to figure out who Goku Black is, it was like a whole. There's arguments about it. There was like, it's this theory. I knew ahead of time. I just happened to be right. Like I remember, and I only remember this because I had an argument about it on a comment section. So yeah, like I remember during this whole time, and in my head, I just kept thinking like, it can't be any of these. It has to be Zamasu. It's the only thing that would make sense, because it's like, yeah, like I kept thinking about all these other situations. Like, no, if he got it from a different timeline, like, yeah, it had to be Zamasu going to a different timeline, taking Goku's. It's not a good example, reason. It's not good. It's kind of boring, but that has to be it. And then I remember saying this to someone who I believe he was on the Goten theory, yeah, I told him like it has to be that. And he was like, no, there's no fucking way. We had this whole argument about it, and I wish I was able to find that comment so I could tell him like, hey, Son Goku 4236. I was fucking right.
What messes me up all the time is I have gotten so many right things about Dragon Ball that it has actively pissed me off. I said, Master Roshi gonna be in the tournament? I said, oh, he's using the Mafuba. And they said,
Yep.
They can't bring items? And I said, hear me out. This is gonna sound crazy. Akira Toriyama does not care. I made a bet with, I made a $3,000 bet with somebody. I said, if Master Roshi uses the Mafuba, I'll give you 3 Gs. He said, what? I said, no, if he doesn't use the Mafuba, I'll give you 3 Gs. And he said, oh, I bet, because you can't use items in the Tournament of Power. I said, cool. And immediately, I saw that boy use the Mafuba against Frost. I hit that boy up in Discord, and I got blocked. I was like, what? I was like, well, hey, it's fair. That's valid. That's fair.
Yeah.
But on the cusp of Goku Black being worthless, narratively, he doesn't serve any purpose, period. He doesn't, there's no narrative weight to Goku Black at all. Even as a cool concept, Goku with pink hair, sweet. That's something.
Look cool.
That's cool. But that's just, next we're gonna get Goku with green hair, because he's gonna tap into his legendary Super Saiyan DNA. And then we're gonna get, well, what's this? Goku with lavender hair. Purple. Oh no, sorry, we got Ultra Ego already.
Yeah.
Never mind. We got that.
Dragon Ball Super really feels like, yeah, it's just like really watered down. It's like watered down all the things about Dragon Ball to the point where what we have now is just a collection of cool moments. And that's like what the series has become. Like, oh, what were the coolest things about Dragon Ball? Transformations. Let's throw a bunch of those moments in there, you know. And that's kind of what, like, yeah, like I feel like that's what Super is really. Like when Tournament of Power, altogether, Tournament of Power is mostly like, like not much happened, but it has a lot of cool moments. You know, the Master Roshi moment, that was cool. The sliding fucking, you know, that was parkour cool. Drag come out, cool. You know,
I like Jiren when he took all the forms of Goku and Super Saiyan God only barely moved his neck. That was kind of hard. I was like, yep. No, sorry. Yeah. At Super Saiyan, I think it was Super Saiyan 2 or 3 that barely moved his neck. Then he one finger stopped God. I was like, well,
yeah. You know, the classic Vegeta got a new form. It doesn't matter. He got whooped.
Love to see it. I'm sad Topo got undershafted by that, but that's crazy. So I think Dragon Ball Super is sadly Dragon Ball. And I've never seen this with a series in my life. I genuinely haven't. The only series I've ever seen that may have done this once was Full Metal, but they fixed it. Where the manga is disgustingly different from the anime to the point where they're their own 2 separate properties.
Like, it is really weird. Yeah, like before, you know, like having conversations about what's canon was so much easier before. Now, no one knows what fucking canon is because like the show and the manga have an entirely different canon.
It's was it Perfected Super Saiyan Blue, who is like, oh, this is the true output of Super Saiyan Blue. All that wild energy, that aura. Well, that was because he didn't control it. And then there's Kaioken times 100 Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. Like that is the, and then we're gonna go times what, and then this, and then Hit in the anime has the ability of improvement. And I don't know if I'm right about this. I haven't read the manga in a minute, but I'm pretty sure in the manga, Hit loses to Goku. I think he loses to Goku. But in the anime, Goku loses to Hit, but it is only through because Hit has this ability called improvement, where throughout the fight, if you're stronger than me, I improve.
I'm so sick and tired of that. I remember when the Broly movie was coming out, and during the trailer, Vegeta's like, "What? He's getting stronger as he fights." It's like I am so sick and tired of that line. I feel like it's like every fucking person now.
I was confused.
He gets stronger as he fights.
Yeah, I was confused because if that's the case for Hit, wouldn't he get stronger when fighting Jiren?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you remember? I'm sure you remember the there was a hidden hit theory.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. I was on Reddit, I was on 4chan, I was on Twitter, reading every confines of everything. But it having too many different canons ruins the core of what it ruins it. It just ruins Dragon Ball, I think, a little bit.
Mhm.
And that like divides the fan base. And you brought this up earlier, Dragon Ball AF. That to me is peak. I maybe it's because I had a Dragon Ball drop for a while and I was like in the fandom, same as you, like going through and scouring through. But Super Saiyan 100 and all that hair.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
AF was so cool because when Goku came back down, right? Like he was like, "Oh, I'll show you. I've actually gotten so much stronger than everybody that it's not even fair." And he goes Super Saiyan 5. And I'm like, "This is the greatest thing I have ever witnessed in my life." He has Super Saiyan 3 hair with the body of Super Saiyan 4. I'm like, "This is
That's white hair. Like, oh cool, new color, let's go."
And I was playing this game called Mugen. I don't know if you know what Mugen is. I was playing Mugen.
The game?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I played that.
Mugen is a game where you just put characters in the game, and as long as you have the sprite, you can put them in the game, and that's all you need. And I had a Mugen patch with like 5,000 characters, and 17 of them were like Super Saiyan 7 Goku, Super Saiyan 10 Goku, and they were all speaking Spanish.
Of course.
And it was like they were so powerful that it wouldn't even matter unless you picked like Chuck Norris to fight them. It wouldn't matter who you picked because they would one shot you, and they were so fast. And I was like, this is the greatest thing of all time. And that goes to show like we actually spawn manga artists because Toyotaro.
Yeah, Toyotaro
is
one of those Dragon Ball AF manga artists,
and he is the mangaka of Super right now, and we're probably never gonna get another Super chapter ever.
He did Evil Goku before Evil Goku. He did Goku Black before Goku Black. Yeah.
Piccolo was Vegeta before Vegeta.
Yeah, I mean that too. Yeah. No, I mean I feel like it's kind of bound. What's going on with Dragon Ball Super was kind of bound to happen when, you know, Dragon Ball is Toriyama's vision, and when he isn't as, not to say like he wasn't a part of Super, but it was very different. When it came to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, those animes, they were adapting his manga that he drew. He drew it. He wrote it. And when you get to Super, it's him like, I know people say like he just kind of gave, well, he would talk to Toyotaro, they would do it together, and then for the studio, the anime studio, they said he would give them notes. I always imagined like Toriyama just like, oh right, I have to give Toei my notes for the anime. He just took like some dirty napkin he had from like lunch, and he just would scribble down some things. And it's like, here, give him that, and then they work with what they could.
I think this is what I truly believe. I think Toriyama saw them checks, and he was like, all right, well, y'all can do whatever y'all want to. What do we do next? He just gave him a color and said, work with it.
Yeah, that's true. Because he was never involved too much with the anime. He said that before his one of his last interviews before his passing, that even during the Dragon Ball Z section, like, well, the anime, like, he never really paid too much attention to it because it wasn't something he was interested in. He wasn't really interested in animation like that. But it was fine because his manga was already like pretty much done. Or like it wasn't that hard for the anime studio to just literally, because he has great choreography. They could easily follow his great choreography that he drew, and things like that.
I think it's kind of like an effect of like, sometimes you have somebody that has an amazing idea and is perfect with it, but they're too stubborn to conform to make it greater than what it is. Akira Toriyama was probably one of those people that was just too stubborn. Like, I love Hayao Miyazaki, the creator of Studio Ghibli. I think he's amazing, but I think he's a pessimistic and bitter human. I think truly
100%.
he's just. I also don't. I think he has the Akira Toriyama issue where I can make an amazing story. I'm lying. I make the art first, and then I make the story.
100%.
He will make a character and be like, how do I put this guy in the story? Like that's where he's at. He doesn't think like, okay, this is the story, I need to make a character for the story. He's just like, this design is pretty chill. I like this because he stated like, sometimes I won't even know where the story's going and I'll just draw something, and I just think it's pretty. So that's the story now. Do you think about that? No. And that's a beautiful thing. But the reason why Studio Ghibli is so disgustingly successful isn't because of the art or anything like that. It's because the brother refuses to explain his magic. He's like, am I not going to explain the magic, I'm not even gonna give you a hint of what this even makes. I don't even care. I don't care. It's
Yeah.
just him.
I mean, what makes Ghibli films so iconic is like their vibe. Like that's like the whole thing. Like you watch a Ghibli film not for like the story or anything. You watch it for the vibe. It's the vibe.
It was like, man,
And he's really good at that. He's really good at that vibe.
He passes the vibe check, but nothing else. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, he maxed out his vibe stats and nothing else, and then he had no room for like being a good father.
Yeah, how do you feel? Since we're talking about AF, how do you feel about the bulk of GT?
I mean, I would say going off. I haven't seen GT in a while. I watched GT. I've watched all the Dragon Ball series multiple times, but GT I definitely watched the least. But I think GT, when I was watching it, I enjoyed it. Like I had a good time. I still think there's really cool things. But overall, like it's much like Super. It doesn't really stack up to Dragon Ball. Like
No,
you know, like and it also makes a lot of mistakes. Like I don't like Goku being a kid again. And I know it's happening again with Dragon Ball Daima. I didn't really like that. You know, Oob, who was supposed to be like this new, like the guy who's gonna learn from Goku. He has all this potential. And it's like, oh yeah, he got clapped by like the first major villain. Okay, I guess. Yeah, like, I was hyped for Oob. I was like so hyped. And then the Android 17 saga was like pretty. That was like really mid. There's like really cool ideas. Like I mean, and concepts like Super Saiyan 4. I love Super Saiyan 4. Super Saiyan 4 is awesome. While people, I do agree, like Vegeta getting it through a Blux Wave like machine is kind of weird. But you know, if we're going off his character arc, it kind of works. You know, like Vegeta has become so away from his pride and ego that he's okay with like having his wife just like, hey, let me just help you do this. He's like, okay.
Still the same.
Yeah,
it's like still the same character arc. I love GT because I think GT is what a Dragon Ball fan made. Because
for 100%. Yeah, I can see that.
Dragon Ball GT reminds me of the Dragon Ball Super manga. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
I think that if there was somebody like, because you can tell Akira Toriyama, he probably didn't even piss in his direction of this show. He probably didn't even spit in the direction of this show. I guarantee you he didn't. And that gets me to the point of like Dragon Ball fan series. Like you haven't read Multiverse, right? You have not even touched it, I imagine, right?
Not Multiverse. No, that one I haven't read.
Good. It is. It's not bad, right? Mm-hmm. It's really not bad, but it's not Dragon Ball. It is Dragon Ball Z.
Ah, gotcha. And like the people, would you say it's very much made by someone who seems that they started with Dragon Ball Z?
It is somebody that has probably watched all of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, but really like Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I get you.
It's a bunch of different artists too. It's like a bunch of different artists. And
okay, cool.
I've been keeping up with it. Like I love the new forms they have. They got Final Form Cold. They got Perfected Super Buu. The daughter of Vegito, who is Bra. A third form cooler is cool. I think it's nice. They even have a final form Frieza, like a cooler form Frieza in there too.
Does it look kind of like Cooler's other form, final form? Gotcha. I've seen that. Yeah.
So, Dragon Ball fan works, right? I don't think I've ever seen a series spawn so many fan fictions or even fan mangas. I've seen like a few of One Piece here or there. I've seen like 2 of Naruto. I have seen 37 of Dragon Ball Z.
Mind you, most of which are coming out when the series is done. During a gap when there was nothing coming out. And like it was just the fans just making more of it.
It's so nuts. It's psychotic almost. To see the love and dedication and spirit that is just through the story. It's amazing. I love it. I'm like, man, this is a lot.
That's what I see. Because like, you know, Dragon Ball AF, from what we understand, originated because one guy just drew an OC. And then people were like, let's make and all that stems from that. And it's like, I almost see Dragon Ball AF as like shining example of the resilience of the Dragon Ball fandom. You know, that they're willing to keep this series that they love alive through their own shit, through making their own art.
I love it because some people be like, Dragon Ball Z it doesn't make any sense. We don't care. It's lit. Sometimes a lot of people want like narrative importance and relevance deeply, right? And Dragon Ball has, but if you look for it, it's there. Not even as a cope thing.
100%.
It's not. This is there. But what happens is it also has, you know, dumb punch fighting, which is kind of sick.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think this is kind of like a side note thing, but it's something I've always thought is oftentimes, I don't know if this is a thing in like a lot of, well, maybe it is, but especially in anime, I feel like there's almost this disconnect where if something doesn't look like it's deep, a lot of people won't perceive it as deep. Like for a while, have you seen Gurren Lagann?
Yeah.
You would agree Gurren Lagann is a super deep anime, right?
Yes.
But yet it's very flashy and colorful. And I remember for a while when it first came out, there was plenty of people who were like, "Oh yeah, it's a fun, dumb shonen anime." It's like, no, this is just as deep as your like, because people think a lot of people will see deep and go, "Oh, an anime like Ergo Proxy. Of course, that anime's deep. It's boring. It's dark. It's quiet. Because it's like it looks deep, so it has to be deep." And I think people oftentimes, when something isn't like obviously presenting as deep, it's hard for them to almost connect it as deep. I think that's part of why a lot of people think Dragon Ball is just, not that it isn't dumb sometimes, and it is, but it is also very deep at points. But because it's so colorful and so, it is dumb at times and fun, and it's hard for them to actually kind of connect the idea like, oh, it's deep. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, Dragon Ball Z it can be disgustingly stupid, and Super doesn't do it any credits.
Yeah, 100%.
Because Gurren Lagann, what's his name? Retsuo, the big-headed forehead dude, looks like Neji. What's that guy?
Fuck, what is that dude's
name? I forgot his name.
Yeah, me too.
I really forgot his name. He is my favorite character in that whole show because he thinks, all right, so we can't have too many humans, so we gotta do this. Okay, I gotta limit people. We gotta keep it equal. He's thinking outside the box. He's fulfilling the role of Lord Genome. And then Simon, the digger, pops up and is like, "Hey, grit those teeth, my boy." What? And punches him right in the face and says, if something happens, I will deal with it. And something happens, and what does Simon do? He fights the power. Rao, fight the power.
Fight the power.
He went sicko mode. That's my favorite. I love it so much. Oh, it's so good. It's disgustingly good.
Gurren Lagann is like a top 10 anime for me ever. It's so good.
I love it because he decided.
R.I.P. Gainax.
R.I.P. Simo.
Yeah, him too.
Because I love the fact that he decided to be willingly bitchless. That's my favorite. He's like, I have the power to shape realities, and you still chose to be bitchless. That's impressive.
Also, kind of side note, just because you love Gurren Lagann. Have you also seen Eva?
Oh, you talking about Evangelion?
Yeah.
Oh God. Hear me out here. I've watched it 27 times. I've seen every movie. And this is gonna sound psychotic.
Okay, good. Okay. All right.
I think it is garbage.
I knew you were going to say. No. I wanted to ask you because I want to make sure you've seen both. You know they're both from Studio Gainax, right?
Yes.
So, Gainax. I've always said this about Gainax. They tell different stories, but they always have the same kind of. It's always about a guy dealing with puberty. That is always their thing. Yeah. That's like always their thing. And but there's this great video on YouTube. I know you like video essays. You should watch the video. Gurren Lagann, I believe it's called Gurren Lagann Answers Eva. and it's like a showing of like how Ava and Gurren Lagann are tackling a similar theme, but they handle it. It's almost looking at it like nihilism versus absurdism or because Gurren Lagann is absurdism
for sure.
And that's why I love it, because I am an absurdist. I'm 100%. You know, I'm a Camus head. I love Camus, and then Ava is like nihilism, and it's like it's so cool how they like answer each other. It's a great video essay. It's like one of my favorite anime video essays on the internet.
I remember.
Highly recommend it.
I remember I had wrote a 300-page breakdown of Evangelion.
Oh my god! As someone who hates it,
yeah. And I wasn't defending it. I was trying to understand it. Because I had watched the movies to get answers on what the angels were, stuff like that, and it had an issue of this story is who gives a fuck about the fights? No one cares about the fights. No one cares about the big machines. No one cares about that. They care about the character narratives of the series, and each character narrative sucks. Everyone's story is horrible. I'm like, I can't be and they're like, that's because it's trauma related. That's fine, that's cool. That's valid. I feel like Evangelion was everybody's first deep anime, and they
100%.
And then they were like, oh, this is like the peak of all deep anime. Evangelion sucks. I think I think it is so bad. Like, it's not even good as a deep anime. Hell, Death Note is great. I think Death Note is fun. I don't understand how a dude killing people in his room got caught, but Death Note is kind of cool. I think Full Metal Brotherhood is one of the greatest anime of all time. I truly do. I have watched Evangelion 27 times because I'll be like, oh, I watched it the first time. I was like, that was piss poor. I watched it again. I was like, well, that was piss poor. I watched it a third time. I was like, all right. Fourth time I watched it with some girl that had BPD that loved it, and she was like, this is my favorite series. I was like, all right, let's watch it. Yeah. And we watched the movie. It's just I can't.
I don't hate Ava, but I agree. Like I don't think it's like it is usually baby's first, you know, deep anime, quote unquote. But and funny enough, that actually goes back to my thing about things that present deep. Again, Gurren Lagann is just as deep as Ava, but Ava presents as deep way more than Gurren Lagann presents as deep, you know? But and I was also thinking when one thing I always thought was like Ava's, you know, I feel like even like what came out around that time in the 90s, Serial Experiments Lain. I would put that above Ava as like one of those like kind of like quiet, deep shows. Like I'd put Lain over that one.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
But wait, have you seen Lain? You Serial Experiments Lain?
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how so many like anime, especially 90s anime, because you know that was around the time the internet starts blowing up, and there were so many anime like Lain talking about the fear of the internet and how it's going to take over, and how fucking right they were. Like it's scary how accurate Lain was, and like I kind of want to make a video about that, honestly, just like how at times a bunch of like dark sci-fi anime were so right about that. Like even like Ghost in the Shell. I mean, we're a bit far off, but it's happening. Like we're gonna get to a point where we're gonna be able to upload our consciousness into the internet, and we're gonna be able to exist through. And low key, this is kind of a me thing. I'm hyped for that. I am a transhumanist. Like if I have the ability to put because I don't want to die. I want control. I want more options for humans. I think it sucks that we're just these meat sacks that age and get older and deteriorate, and eventually we die without any choice. I want to be able to decide when I die. If I want to die after 400 years, fine. Let me, you know? So like, I'm hyped for that. If I can upload my brain into a consciousness, or my brain into like a cyborg that lets me live and be young forever until I die, when I choose, I'm with it. Like though I might get hacked, but fuck
very Walt Disney of you. It reminded me of
true, because he has his head and shit. Yeah.
Reminds me of my oldest brother who's passed now. God bless his soul.
R.I.P. man.
He cut off his limbs.
Oh wow.
Because he wanted prosthetics really bad, and he got them. He got the prosthetics. And he said, "I'm much happier with the prosthetics." So here goes the
Wow.
thing. He was happy with the prosthetics. He had
That's
that-
cool. Respect.
and they were really good prosthetics. It was nice.
Mhm.
Here's the part that messed me up. He said, if I pass away, because of my own ineptitude, I'm gonna make sure my body's preserved to the best of my ability. And he owned a worm farm in Upper Arlington, Columbus. He had a mountain of money. He is probably preserved somewhere, waiting, biting. His body is biding its time.
Waiting for the same thing I'm waiting for him to be able to upload his consciousness and continue.
That's fair, and I don't have anything against that because I love Detroit Become Human. So
Yeah.
I
I mean, don't get me wrong. There is a lot of bad things. Like, I mean, even in Ghost in the Shell, that one guy who gets like his brain hacked to thinking he had a wife and kids and he doesn't.
oh yeah, that's gonna happen.
That shit is that's definitely gonna happen. It's fucking scary, but I'm willing to do it. And you know what it is? It's probably my grand fear of time itself, which is my biggest fear, time. So that's probably what's making me want to do it. I'm just scared of time. I'm scared of that. I can't control it. Then it just keeps going, and eventually it ends, and I have no choice. Yeah.
One thing about and to get back to Ava right quick, and that's you're getting existentialism right there. I'm getting sad.
Oh yeah. No. I plan to make a whole video about my fear of time, and I'm gonna like watch a bunch of media that talks about time and how to handle it. And I'm hoping that like I come to some, grand resolution. I'm pretty sure I already know what the resolution is. Like, you gotta live in the present and enjoy every moment while you cab it. What's that song? Love Yours, J. Cole, like basically. Yeah.
That's fair. There's there's an issue I had with Ava when Ray got cloned. And the original Ray is dead. The one we spent knowing is dead, and she got cloned. And I was like, well, pointless.
Yeah.
So here goes what I hate. I hate Ava so. I'm like I might be the only person to ever have this distaste. Shinji and Asuka, right? They had development, but they developed into worse people. And there was like this Christian symbolism, and I looked it up because I was doing research for it.
Yeah.
And what I got from the writers of Ava, they were just like, "Oh, it looked cool." I was like, "Why even add the Christian symbolism in the first place?"
I don't believe that shit. That every time a fucking anime guy tells me I only put it in there because it looks cool, yeah, fucking right. I don't believe
that. No.
Yeah. You put it in there because there's some deeper reason. You're just trying to be humble or whatever.
Like it kills me so much. Like, what I like about Ava is that as the story develops, they just get mentally worse. That's the core of the story.
I was actually going to ask you, as someone who doesn't like it, did you prefer the original ending of the anime, or did you prefer the end of Ava film ending?
Film.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what most people say, and I think it does make more sense. There's something about that original ending that I really fuck with, though. Like as like just a head fuck, and like what a way to end a series. It is really. I actually like the ending quite a bit. Not in like I don't think it's better than the end of Ava, but I don't hate the ending. I think like because to me, if you've like seen the interviews from Ano and how like he says like the things he felt are what he put in Shinji. So like having that ending kind of being a reflection of his like mental state at that point is like, I don't know, it's really, I like that it's so emotionally connected to just a person and that made it, there's something interesting about that.
I think the Dragon Ball Z fandom and the Ava fandom are disgustingly interlinked because
Whoa, tell me.
Dragon Ball Z is the first like big battle shonen. It's the grandfather of most things, right?
Yeah.
And I've watched every Gundam series ever.
Damn, your power level's way higher than mine. I've been wanting to watch some Gundam shit because I feel like they're probably really fucking good and I'm missing out.
They're disgustingly good. That's the.
Oh, I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Is the grandfather of mech anime, and I watch Evangelion, and I can guarantee you, had I watched it when I was younger, I would have no complaints about it.
Without the background of the mecha stuff,
Yeah.
You think you would have preferred it more?
Yeah, 100%.
But you still like Gurren Lagann, even though you've seen a lot of
Gurren Lagann
that.
is not a mech anime.
What? You don't think so? It's not?
Gurren Lagann is a power fantasy that sometimes expands on mechs, because that's not how mechs work. Those boys move like characters.
Are you one of those people that says Attack on Titan's a mecha anime?
No, Attack on Titan's not a mecha. Attack on Titan is Eren did nothing wrong, and I'm dying on that hill.
Oh no, this again.
I'm like, people turned on Eren. They were just like, Eren, you went against everyone. Wrong. He discovered who the enemy was and said, I'm taking the enemy out. Everybody was like, yeah, but he wants to cause a genocide. So they wanted to genocide him. But here's the thing I hate about the Eva fandom right quick, because it's like a thing. Shinji will burp, right? And I'll hear this. You see, that burp is a profound analogy of depression and empty void you feel in your soul, but you have no interest in living. The burp smelled like burnt toast, just like the empty black holes in space. See, these black holes are the metaphor for loneliness and helplessness you feel when you're going through a crisis, trying to find your place in the world. Only people who understand Evangelion would see the deep and meaningful message. See, truly, Ano was ahead of his time. I'll tell you that right now. I'm like, what? It'll be that. I'll be like, there's no universe in which you're like, you can say like I'll grab meaning from Dragon Ball, but at least I can have some narrative cohesion to admit that Super sucks. But they'll be like, nah, the movies were good, everything was good. I rewatched it 27 times. I beg of you to watch your second anime. Like,
yeah. No, Eva is the probably the most it's people's first. This anime is too deep for you. Like, it's that, it's the first one of its kind.
It's beautiful.
Or my bad, I'm 13 and this is deep. Like that. Like, is that?
It's nuts. And to Ava's credit, it got people into anime, and it helped people that
100%.
had like mental issues understand themselves. To Ava's 100%. Credit, that's beautiful. Same with Dragon Ball Z, how it got like weak nerdy dudes and working out and stuff like that. That's just, that's fair. Same with Baki and stuff like that. But I will always have a distaste. Like, I don't even like Ergo Proxy. I'm not gonna lie to nobody.
Yeah, no, it's boring.
Yeah, it's hot garbage.
I fell asleep like 8 times watching it.
I have a deep distaste for shows that try to have so much narrative cohesion without like landing on the mark. The only show that's done that has like these deep thematic things that actually lands on the mark on all fronts with no room for crumbs is Brotherhood. That is it. That's the only one I can think of. One Piece even has some narrative faults. I'm not even gonna say like, oh, it's perfect. No, it has plot holes in there. It's going on too long. Obviously it has plot holes.
Yeah.
But man, it's so goofy. Sorry, we were talking about Dragon Ball Z. Anyways.
Yeah. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball. That's the name. That's what we're doing.
Okay, so the importance of transformations, right? I remember you stating specifically how much you hated the rework of the Son Goku speech.
Oh yeah. Because don't get me wrong, I do think saying "allied to good, nightmare to you" that is cool. Like, it's a cool heroic speech. But yeah, like once you start like reading the manga, you start understanding why he needs to say, "I am the Super Saiyan Son Goku." You hate that now, because it's like that's the whole point. The him becoming Super Saiyan isn't just like a new form. It is the culmination of Goku's entire arc from the Z Saga. It's him realizing not only that he is a Saiyan, but what being a Saiyan means to him. Because it's that whole video I said. Beginning of the Saiyan saga, he doesn't even want to say he's a Saiyan. He's not a Saiyan, he's a human. Then by the time he fights Vegeta, he's like, oh shit, maybe I am a Saiyan, because I kind of want to selfishly fight this guy, even though he kind of fucked us up and almost destroyed the world. Yeah, then you get to like the Frieza part where he's like, you know what, I am a Saiyan, but I'm not cold-blooded like Vegeta. And then Vegeta literally, in his death, is like, win for the Saiyans, our people, he killed us, do it. And then Goku realizes, wait, I can be a Saiyan, but I can also be, basically he kind of reinvented what being a Saiyan means to him. Because for Goku, at that point, because when he was a kid, he was willing to kill anybody. Things changed. Once he saw Krillin die, he understood the weight of that. And then then Z, he's like the super kind guy. He doesn't want to kill anybody, and he consistently sees Vegeta kill motherfuckers. He's like, I can't do that. that's not me. And then he comes to which I think honestly, this is like my favorite thing about this arc is Goku's final lesson with Frieza is that, you know, like to him being a Saiyan means, you know, I will fight as hard as I can. I will become strong like a Saiyan, but I'm not itching to kill. But if I have to, I will.
Right.
And that's that. He basically like surpassed Batman, because Batman is like, you know, I can't kill, even if me not killing this guy is actually worse for mankind than if I keep letting this Joker dude keep living and killing people. Goku realized like, no, sometimes you got to do it, even if it goes against your morals, you got to do it for the sake of, you know, other people. And it's like, wow, just a great arc. But yeah, the speech is like that. That's what it is. You need to say, I am the Super Saiyan Son Goku, because that's it. He is the Super Saiyan, accepting his Saiyan heritage, Son Goku, but also keeping his humanity and who he is through Earth. You know? Sorry, I know you're trying to talk there. I was going off.
That was beautiful. That was amazing. I love that. Because there's such an important narrative focus to me, and I think if people saw the Majunior fight versus Goku, they'd understand what Goku is. That fight represents what Goku is. Goku, despite, you know, getting cheap shotted, I think he has like a hole through his chest. There's like so much going on, and then he says to the announcer, "Do the countdown." What?
Yep. The only thing he wanted was to win fairly. And he did.
He said, hey, do that countdown, cuz. I'm like, you what? He said he's gonna destroy the world. Do the countdown. I'm like, oh my god.
And then the fact that he gave him a senzu bean to let him live because he wanted a good rival. He's the GOAT. He's just the GOAT. What can I say?
He said, Piccolo, you kind of tough. Here you go. What's this? Senzu bean. What is it? Is it gonna kill me? Nah, cuz this will actually revive you to full health. What? Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Little bees like that. Anyways, you eat this, we can fight again one day. I'm gonna spend my entire life trying to, yeah, whatever. Anyways, I'm gonna have a son. It's so nuts. But okay, so the importance of transformations to me, right? Remember, I don't know if you remember Goku's face during the entire time he was in Super Saiyan.
Oh, like the first time, yeah, like very stoic, very serious. Right? I mean, yeah, at the very beginning when he turns Super Saiyan, the narrative wants you to almost be worried that like he won't be. I mean, when he yells at Gohan, like, leave before I lose the last bit of sense like we almost are. It's not as prominent as like when Gon goes adult Gon. Like,
oh, yeah, no, he was crazy. He was crazy.
But there is hints of that, of like, oh, is Goku gonna lose his humanity? Like, is he gonna go full like blooded, cold-blooded? And then that's the point of the speech, is that he didn't lose his humanity despite becoming the legendary, the Super Saiyan. You know, and
it's kind of like it's kind of like when you get yelled at by your parent, and they're just like, smack some goddamn sense into. It's like that exact moment. It's like, Goku is a dad. My bad. I forgot he had a son. Never mind. And
it's like, yeah.
And the importance of the first transformation in Dragon Ball, because this is like the first real transformation. This is important. He wins.
Yeah.
Like he won the fight. And then we get to the very next transformation. Do you remember the very next transformation after Super Saiyan Goku? You remember the next one was?
Trunks, right?
Yes.
Against Frieza. Yeah.
And what happened in that fight? What happened? Who won?
Trunks, but it wasn't even you ever seen that clip where how it looks like from like someone's outside perspective, like and it was like that.
it's so fast. He does it so fast, and this is important because when Vegeta first went Super Saiyan, what happened? He won.
Yeah, he won. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, right. He did. Yeah, he beat Android 19.
He won.
Like it was nothing. Yeah.
Like nothing. And then when Gohan went Super Saiyan, what happened?
He won.
He won every time a new transformation happened. Every single time. I guess you can count Vegeta's power up, but that's not a new transformation truly. Every time a new transformation happened, they won. It was to showing that when you break through your limits, especially in early Dragon Ball and up until the Cell Saga, the narrative importance of a transformation was so pivotal because it shook the core roots. It reestablished power points. It reestablished characters. Goku had an entire character journey. Vegeta fell into his
Yep.
ego. Trunks came from a different timeline. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan
Yeah,
accepted the fact that I'm gonna have to beat some ass sometimes.
exactly. Like transformations at that point weren't just transformations. They were narratively connected to the character's arc, and that's what made them amazing. That seeing Trunks in his timeline walk up in that rain. It's probably, I mean, Super Saiyan Goku is like the best narratively, but like presentation wise, that's probably my favorite. Like Trunks just walking up, the rain is pouring, his master, the last person he really has outside of his mom, just dead, and having him like just transform. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's well written. It's amazing. And then eventually, yeah, once you get to like the Buu saga and on, that's when it just becomes transformations for the sake of transformation.
When Super Saiyan 3 first popped up, you know what I thought?
What?
I was like, why doesn't he have eyebrows? And you gotta recognize that gorillas, you know what I'm saying? Gorillas have the same forehead shape, that Neanderthal skull. Primal. More hair is unkempt, is wild. That primal state. Electricity flowing everywhere. I was like, oh, he's primal. Goku gets that. All right, let me tell you something. I'm like, oh, Sean Schemmel, what are you doing with that voice narrative? Hold on.
I love when he does that shit. I love when he like deepens his voice for like higher forms of Super Saiyan.
It was so good. I was like, damn, this is psychotic. It was beautiful. It was beautiful to me. I loved it. What messed me up is that Super Saiyan 3 to this day has 0 W's outside of movies.
It is probably the most useless Super Saiyan form there is.
But it's the coolest. It's the coolest looking one.
It's definitely. It's so cool. It's so cool. But like, yeah, like even like whenever he uses it, he's always like, oh, it drains too much power. He still hasn't ever like. And by the time he, maybe he could have mastered it, he already got a new form. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, he's like, all right, well, Super Saiyan 3 is dead in the water. And then we talked about this earlier. Ultimate Gohan.
Oh, yeah.
That was just so worthless.
It's such a huge contrast to his last cool moment. Like the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan moment is like it's almost not just the culmination of Gohan, but the culmination of the story of Z. Because like a big core part of the Dragon Ball Z story is the story of Gohan. He is like almost intertwined with the story of Dragon Ball. It's like seeing his growth. And then you get Ultimate Gohan, who's just like, oh, I sat down and this guy walked around me for a little bit, and then I got this cool new form, and then I have a cool moment, and then I make the same mistake, and then I get bitched out by Gotenks Buu.
I think it's to show that Gohan will never, ever.
He couldn't step into that role.
No, he just won't be the one, and it's a little sad.
It is because that's what Goku wanted that whole arc. He stepped down at Super Saiyan 3 against Buu because he wanted the next generation to take care of things, and that was supposed to be go to the Trunks. They didn't do it. Gohan couldn't do it, and by the end, Goku's like, "All right, I'll do it. Like, I guess it's up to me then." And then the Spirit Bomb, which I mean, it's still a cool ending. Like that's probably like I will stand by that. I like the Buu ending of like the way that we defeat the ultimate villain is by the whole world and universe coming together to defeat our final foe. Like that is cool. That is cool. And gaslighting from Hercule is awesome.
Shout out Hail Satan, man. You know where to go. Hail Satan.
Yep, Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. I thought it was beautiful, but it destroyed what the narrative importance was to me for all the transformations beforehand. And then Super expanded on this so deeply. Super Saiyan God, to this day, has 0 victory. Not one.
Yep.
It's the same issue I had with Invincible earlier on until I read the rest of it. It's like, what is the point of this new transformation? What's the point? Like,
it's just a cool moment at that point.
It's hype for the sake of hype.
Yep.
And then there's Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. Technically, I'm gonna say this very technically, Goku doesn't technically have any victories in this form.
Well, yeah, because... Right, wait. No, well, I know Frieza blew up the planet, and then they took back the timeline.
Yeah, repeated everything.
But then he wiped, when he repeated everything, then Goku wiped him out, right?
Yeah. But, like, he needed a repeat because he made a Gohan mistake. I
really wish Vegeta got the win there. It made so much narrative sense, like the prince... like as a god, finally getting his get back on the oppressor. Like, you know, like it would have been so cool. And then of course, no, Vegeta can't have the moment.
You know, after that moment, like Vegeta is no longer equal to Frieza. Like ever. Like when
Really, even like Blue Evolution, isn't Blue Evolution stronger than Golden Frieza?
No, because when Frieza comes back,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess you could say for that moment, but they never proved it. They never had the opportunity to prove it. The best thing about Frieza's transformation was that everybody got to fight them. They got to see where they stood up against them. That was the important part. Even when Frieza came back in Resurrection F, Frieza went against Gohan and one tapped and was like, well, that's the show. Like, that was the whole thing. But nobody, if Vegeta didn't get the chance. Vegeta is his people. Ego, pride. He is his people. He is the Hotep. He is the Hotep Saiyan. And he didn't get the chance to be the Hotep Saiyan. He didn't get the chance. He didn't get the chance. It's sad because I wanted, because Super Saiyan got Super Saiyan. It's kind of worthless. It's like got nothing under it. And then we get into what everybody thinks are like the coolest forms. The Ultra Ego and Ultra Instinct. Everybody's like, oh, these forms are so cool. I'm like,
I agree, and I would agree. Yeah, Ultra Instinct is really cool.
They look sick as hell. They look amazing. But what do they do for the story? What are they there for? Is there a reason?
Outside of like, I guess like the narrative thing is that they keep kind of going back to the whole idea of like, oh, Goku's thing. What was the Goku's? What did we say? We said Goku's problem is that he gets too relaxed and like lets his guard down, and he says Vegeta doesn't let his guard down enough, I believe, and that kind of is a reflection of those forms. Like, you know, like the Ultra Instinct is supposed to be that, like Goku able to not have to think. He could just like, it moves almost, he does it without, it's like breathing, you know. And then same thing with Vegeta, but that's kind of it. Like outside of that,
Luffy, Zoro, Heaven or Hell, Guilty Gear shit.
Yeah.
Because like Ultra Ego is something that like a fan would make up, and to their credit, it is a fan transformation essentially. Toritaro is like, yeah, and
he's a fan. Yeah, he was a fan.
And Ultra Instinct is like, you know, it's crazy. It's gonna sound nuts. Ultra Instinct is not a transformation.
It's not. It's a technique. Krillin could do it if he were to practice it. You know, it doesn't take a specific Saiyan or anything. Like, yeah, it's a technique. It's not even a form.
Why the hell does his hair turn white?
That's what happens when you're enlightened, I guess.
Because you can use Super Saiyan Blue and Ultra Instinct. Like that's a thing that happened in it happened in the manga. It happened in the Granola arc.
I am not kept up. Really?
It happened. He said, I was using Ultra Instinct partially while I was in Blue. When he was going against Granola, I might, if I'm wrong, somebody please correct me. I swear to God, that's what I read.
I wouldn't know. I haven't kept up with the manga, but that's crazy. I mean, I guess I'm not surprised. It's not that different from like I was Blue and I went Kaioken. You know, like Kaioken is a technique. You know, Kaioken isn't a transformation either. So I guess it makes sense.
It's the stupidest shit. It's the stupidest shit. It's so dumb. And I know what's crazy about Ultra Ego. I don't know how strong it is at all. Like I can't tell you. I can't be like, oh, Ultra Ego is this. I can't tell you that for one reason and one reason alone. It has done nothing.
Yeah.
It hasn't done. The form has done zero. I'll tell you everything the form has done. It lost against Granola because he got his ass beat too much because he kept saying, the more damage I take, the stronger I get. I didn't get to see that because he took too much damage. Second thing that happened was he fought against Black Frieza and got one-tapped. Isn't it?
He just did the Vegeta special, basically, but now with purple hair.
I was like, what? He put the finger to his face and said, let me tell you who you're looking at. What?
He did the thumb. He did the classic thumb pose into death.
Oh my God. It's so sad. And then, we're talking about transformations that are really narratively worthless. Beast Gohan and Orange Kilo.
Again, two forms that, well, I'll say Orange Kilo is really cool. Gohan Beast looks kind of goofy. Like the hair is a little much. And you're right. like Orange Kalo comes from literally the dragon being like, oh, and here's something extra, like just cuz, and then Gohan Beast is just like, hey, remember Super Saiyan 2 Gohan? Wasn't that cool? Here it is again. We remember this moment, right?
Well, to be fair, to the credit of Beast Gohan's hair, look at, if I want you to look at Gohan's body compared to his hair in Super Saiyan 2, it is the exact same body hair difference. It's the exact same.
It looks cooler though for some reason on Teen Gohan.
That's because
it does.
That's because Gohan's face is still the same size.
Mm,
so you're saying like,
sense.
why is his head so small?
Yeah,
that's the issue. His face is still the same size. If his head grew with the thing, it would look natural.
Yeah,
but it doesn't. And there's no narrative reason for this form at all.
Yeah.
Where does it come from?
Like, you can kind of contrive it a little bit. You can give a little credit to be like, you know, Gohan's always had this like rage. That's like always been his thing. But the point of Super Saiyan 2 was that. That's what that was. The final like culmination of all that rage finally. Because, you know, he's always had the rage moments. So it kind of makes sense to have like this bestial form kind of thing. You know, you can give it that kind of, you can kind of, if you want to like headcanon contrive it. That's the best you could give it.
The what I give it is, you ever heard of Gohan Blanco?
Oh, come on now, of course.
This is
Gohan Blanco, Shaggy, what's the other?
El Hermano. This is the most Cell Dorado shit I've ever seen.
Cell Dorado, oh yeah. Duracell.
Yeah. I wish Cell Dorado was real. So that is the cool. It's so easy. That's the easy naming convention. El Dorado, City of Gold, Cell Dorado, Golden Cell. That's perfect. That is perfect.
It's very in line with Toriyama's naming conventions.
He just hates Mexico so much.
No, they're his biggest fans.
He doesn't care about his fans. He cares about getting more money. He knows whatever he puts out, they're gonna buy. Well, to be fair, he's gone now, but he knew that. He may be gone, but he was a money grubbing man. He loved money. I can't take that away from him, truly.
Respect.
So, let's get into the connections people have with Dragon Ball Z and how, basically, this entire thing, we have driven and made up a lot of like narrative connections that people have. We've connected them through it, even through like grasping at straws.
Yeah.
There is this whole thing where a lot of black people see themselves in Saiyans.
I would like to start this conversation.
Go ahead.
I of course have the most authority to speak on this.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm just kidding. I think you should definitely start this.
So there's like this thing where like, okay, you know, black people back during oppression days, they were called monkeys. Frieza called them monkeys. They're working for a white dictator. America. Like, people saw that, and when Akira Toriyama was asked this question, do you know what he said?
What did he say?
Oh, I guess that does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I know RZA always spoke on that and felt very connected to it. Didn't he write a book about it?
Thoughtless Movement or something like that. Like Thoughtless Action.
Yeah.
It was like the philosophy of Wu-Tang.
Yeah, there is a lot of connection. I think pretty much because like, you know, the big thing with the Saiyans is that they were oppressed, and like, you know, a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people that were going through hardship like that can connect to Dragon Ball in that sense.
It's like because a lot of people saw Goku as like a dad or a parental figure, and then like I think this is like specifically for like just like black people, they always saw Vegeta as like the hope of the people. I know they love Goku, but Vegeta was like, he is ignorant. I know it's gonna sound crazy, just hear me out. He is pride. He's ego.
Yep.
He wants
whole arc.
He literally is like euthanization. I wanna do like making sure the strongest of my people happen. And he begins to accept himself. And he gets himself a woman that is actually the breadwinner. He can take a step back and work on his self. And that is an amazing narrative character arc. And I wish a lot of people would see that. I wish people would see what Vegeta did and put that into their own lives.
It is crazy how the whole point of Vegeta's arc is to show you like the bad sides of having too much ego, putting too much pride in yourself. Again, him going Majin Vegeta and is like supposed to be like, that's a bad, like he's making the wrong choice, and the point is he learns from it, and then the ending of his arc in Z is him accepting that Goku is better than him. But yet whenever you look at what people love about Vegeta, when you look at the shirts, what quotes do you see? The Majin Vegeta quotes. Like, that's like what his fandom, his biggest thing that people love about him is his most negative thing, character, arc wise, his pride. And it's a real interesting thing about Vegeta and like his fan base.
It's fun. It's a very fun thing because a lot of people will be like, well, Akira Toriyama knew that Saiyans were black people. I guarantee you that wasn't even his thought. I can promise you he wasn't even slightly thinking of that. I personally will always say that's what he thought, but I can guarantee you that this is a thing this is the meaning that we have to derive for ourselves, like on that front. Because like, well, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna ask you, like, well, like I said, I feel like people anyone who like has went through oppression or has been oppressed can connect to the Saiyans in that way. But why is it that you think black people specifically, because out of a lot of groups who see themselves as Saiyans in that way, I feel like black people do feel the most connected. What makes you think that? Like, why is that?
It's quite actively, this is gonna sound crazy, it's literally because when people think of black people, or when black people think of themselves, or when you see them on the media, it's always something belligerent or ignorant, sexy red, something like that, them doing crazy, wild, vicious, vitriolic things. And when that's the narrative that's pushed, and a lot of black people are like that, they're very prideful and egotistical, and they believe, like, a lot of black people are like, everything came from black people, everybody copies black people. Saiyans are what everyone wants to be. They are the progenitors. They're the strongest race. They have an unfair advantage. When they're beaten down, they get stronger. When black people were put in slavery, they got stronger. They made better food. They made hip hop. They made b-boying. Yeah. That's why black people specifically feel this in their soul.
They weren't allowed to go to the white restaurants, and when they were, they're like, our shit's better anyway.
Exactly. That's what they're like. And they just had this deep connection, especially because they were working for a white dictator, and a lot of black people a lot of older black people say, we're working for the white man, like it's a whole thing. And then there's the fact that they're called monkeys, and black people have throughout history been called that.
That is what Frieza, the oppressor, calls the Saiyans.
Yes, that's like a big thing. And
then there's the whole line when Frieza shoots his final, I don't know if this is only in Kai, if there was like a rewrite. I had to remember what exactly he said in the manga. But when he does the final attack of "You'll die by my hand" to Goku, as Goku literally gave him another chance and he's leaving, I believe Frieza says like, "I am your master now, like obey," or something like that. He literally, like, his final attack to a Saiyan, the Super Saiyan, is telling him to obey his master. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what he says.
Yeah, And a lot of people will tell me, like, bro, you're just trying to derive meaning from this. It's not that deep. It is for people. You can find meaning in art that the author didn't try to create. And
it's the whole death of the author situation. Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't agree with my stance, I don't care. That's perfectly fine. Yeah. You can say whatever you want to. But even with Wu-Tang Clan, right? Even with Wu-Tang Clan, emotionless action and going with the flow. That's Ultra Instinct. That's just Ultra Instinct right there. That's the entire philosophy of Wu-Tang Clan. You mentioned earlier RZA. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing. That's the entire thing of that. And then there's with the Super Saiyans going blind. There's a very famous scene in Budokai Tenkaichi 3 where Chi-Chi, she'll give a description of the characters. And specifically for Super Vegito, she'll say, 2 delinquents merge and become the biggest delinquent. In Japan,
blonde hair.
In Japan, when you have blonde hair, you're a delinquent. It's like a whole thing. That's like a whole thing. And what's seen is like, and this is why black people like it so much, because they don't even know this. It might be like an emotional thing. They don't even know. Delinquency is like hood antics. Like that's basically what it is.
It's like the Japan version. Yeah,
it's like a Japanese version of hood antics.
Yeah, I can see that. I see that parallel, 100%.
So that's like a whole thing there, and I think Dragon Ball Z will never die.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm lying when I say that, but I believe it. Because I think...
I believe it too.
I think the people that watched it growing up will deeply love it to the point where even if it sucks, even if it's garbage, even if it's piss, they'll keep pushing the narrative that it's the... That's why Ultra Instinct broke the internet. Because people were like, guys, this is a new transformation. This is going to be the greatest thing of all time. And Ultra Instinct, I'm not going to lie to anybody, it was a cool moment. Same as you said earlier, it was a cool moment. But that's
what other anime has cold stadiums filled in Mexico? Oh, was it Mexico? I forget exactly.
It probably was Mexico.
Watching this moment, just watching this Ultra Instinct moment, like it's insane.
No one does. You get robbed by the cartel and they see a Goku keychain. Wait a minute. Hold on. I apologize.
Hit him with the Goku would hate you.
Goku would. What he would? So now we can talk about what I think is the worst thing to ever happen to Dragon Ball. Daima. Have you seen anything about Daima recently? Have you seen anything?
No, I have seen no recent thing. The last thing I saw was the last trailer we got where we found out like, yeah, everyone's gonna be a kid again, that kind of thing. The only thing I had to say about it at that point was like, I mean, again, I'm very whatever about new Dragon Ball content. I'm very like, yeah, whatever, I'll watch it. Even if I don't like it, I'll watch it. But I will say, one thing that gave me hope is animation-wise, it did kind of look like the Broly movie aesthetic, which I fuck with. I love that style. So that at least if it looks good, that's at least something. You know, it's better than Super already.
Well, hear me out here. Do you remember the Dragon Ball Super trailers?
Yeah, they did look good too.
Oh
shit!
I keep hearing people. I think that's cope. I keep hearing people that are like, "Well, the animation in the trailer looks good, motherfucker. It's a trailer.
Yeah.
What do you expect? True. They're gonna show They're gonna show the in-between still frames? What? Yeah, let me just pull a trailer out.
I feel like it's easier to cope because it has the Broly aesthetic, like that kind of like very simple, you know, very like low shaded lines, like that look. That gives you hope because like that movie, like that aesthetic was just perfect for it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked the superhero movie, but I was upset that they went for a more like 3D. Yeah, at points I felt like I was watching like a Xenoverse 2 cutscene, and it's like, But hey,
the issue I think most people have is and this is gonna sound psychotic. It's the hair.
That is because it looks very plasticky, very like it doesn't move at all. Like I remember one of the things I always loved. This is such a like random ass thing to love or like specific. There's like those moments when I think it happens in the cooler. You remember when Super Saiyan looked a little more like yellow and fluffier?
Saturated?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, and it looked fluffier. Like I think it's specifically in Tenkaichi 3, if you pick Goku mid, you go Super Saiyan as Goku mid.
Saturated. It's
saturated, it's fluffy. And like or even in like the cooler movie when like the moves like that. It's like that's so cool. But like nowadays like Super Saiyan is so like it looks so shiny and like it looks like it's like frozen still, like the hair doesn't move at all. Like it's not a good look.
It's because you're thinking of the white-haired Super Saiyan. That white-haired Super Saiyan is peak. The issue with the hair for me though is because if you read the manga, right? Goku's hair doesn't move. Even in the anime with 2D animation, his hair barely moves. It's the same static position.
Yeah.
It's that's unaffected. Yeah. So when you have 3D animation and you're trying to still have that same thing, when 3D animation you're supposed to be able to move things freer, it looks horrible.
Yeah.
It just looks bad. I'm like, holy shit, this is Garbo. This is Gabo. This is Gabo piss.
I mean, yeah, because the superhero film, and I like that movie. I like it a lot. I especially like the early, like the beginning parts where it's more like, oh, Slice Piccolo kind of having a crush on Pan's teacher and shit like that. It's good stuff. But yeah, like it looked pretty good for a CG led, like I've seen much worse, I got Berserk 2016,
Oh god, oh god, you just brought back a deep, disgusting memory. Oh god, what was
yeah,
I like?
that's probably some of the worst of it, it's hard. It's hard for me to really enjoy something that looks like that, or something that is 3D. Like, I don't know. I grew up watching 90s anime. I love the look of just like hand drawn, and even like Disney's Renaissance era, all those like hand drawn films.
Treasure
There's a weight
Planet.
to it.
Oh my god.
There's like that's one of my favorite movies, Disney movies ever.
Yeah,
I love Treasure Planet.
That's one of mine too. Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah. Great ass movie. But yeah, like, and that one was great because it had a mix of the two. It had digital elements, but they were just there to kind of help out, and it's where it made sense, and like the gear and the tech and all that. It's cool. But yeah, it's hard for me to like really engage much with like full on CG, full on digital.
No, that's fair. It's strange because we'll get like the Tenkaichi 1 opening, which was bars.
I fucking love that opening.
It was good. And then you'll get like
So cool.
Superhero, which is like, well, I can get this just with Tenkaichi 1. Come on now. It's ridiculous. I don't think this is fun. Oh wait, hold up a second. It's just nonsense. And that's the worst part for me. I feel like now, especially just with Dragon Ball Z now, we're losing what makes the series so good. Like, we're losing this core essence. I feel like it doesn't feel good anymore, and I want it to feel good again, right?
Gotcha.
Like, I want this series to feel great, but it doesn't feel good to be a part of even the discussions are getting a little bit more toxic, especially in like the bigger spaces. Like, One Piece obviously gets toxic there, but at least I can talk to people about One Piece and have civil discussion. With Dragon Ball Z, it's like the same old things, like, yeah, Kid Buu is stronger than Buhan and stuff. There's nothing new we're still discussing Cell.
We shouldn't be discussing that anymore.
It shouldn't. We're still discussing. I would rather discuss Dabura versus Cell. That's a good argument. Hell,
yeah,
that's
a good one. Yeah, it's because it's about even. Like, who knows?
Yeah, if Dabura spits on him, but Cell could obviously, get rid of his arm, stuff like that. Like, there's so much.
True. I would just, I would give it to Cell though. I'd give it to Cell.
You give it to Cell.
I give it to Cell.
I would personally probably give it to Cell too. Just in general, because I think Cell has shown more, especially with the Cell Juniors, Cell Juniors are stated to be as strong as Cell, I believe, or something like that. So I mean, like,
I just feel like he's got more tools to work with.
Yeah, we haven't seen many showings from Dabura besides him getting cookied. So I mean,
yeah,
he got Elmo'd. Which is sad. So with that we're gonna stop the discussion on Dragon Ball. If you guys don't know the Internet Pit Stop, this is he's my roommate, my shitty internet roommate. Come on, guys, you already know who he is. The greatest man of all time. He makes narrative deep dives into many things, such as Zelda and old aesthetic. He's very nostalgic with the way that he does things. He's gonna be a pillar of YouTube in the future. He's gonna grow and grow and grow. If you're not tapping in immediately right now, you are missing out on one of the most wholesome, one of the most welcoming, one of the most nostalgic trips through memory lane that you're ever gonna get, especially because it feels like you're talking to somebody that you've known for eons. And I'm happy that he joined me on this episode to just speak on Dragon Ball Z and even just other things. We went on tangents. This is more of a podcast episode more than anything. I just appreciate it. Do you have any closing remarks for the YouTube video?
Well, first off, thank you for those kind words. That was really sweet, man. I feel like I'm gonna cry. Any closing thoughts? Shit, what I guess I want to make it about, if I want to say something about Dragon Ball, look, I'm gonna watch it regardless of where it goes. It could get really bad, I'm still gonna watch it. I'm a Dragon Ball fan to the core, even if I'm not as into it anymore. Always gonna love it. And I'm not really good at the closing thoughts.
Nah, no problem. Thank you guys for checking out the video, and bye.